Well, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, for those of you that have braved the weather, that are the hardy souls that have been watching this particular event, good morning to you all. First event this morning on a wonderful day, let's say. Of course, it's Garryowen Day, so it's going to be wonderful regardless of what the weather is going to be. The Pemberton Equestrienne Turnout, open to girls and boys, which you can see behind me here for riders 12 and under 15 years of age. We congratulate them all. And Jack Pemberton, of course, we all remember Jack, who succeeded his father as the Chief Mounted Marshal here at our Royal Melbourne show from 1947 until, unfortunately, we lost him in 1990. I'm going to announce our awards from 6th upwards. So for those of you behind me, and the first of our awards today, I'm going to call forward number 284, Sophie Belcher, Banbury Park Celebration. So Sophie, congratulations in 6th position. In 5th position, number 1635, the nomination of Perkins and McIntyre's Meteor Showers, written by Isabella McIntyre. In 4th position, Fiona Kitson-Walsh's nomination, Langtree Royal Affair, and of course it's written by Alexandra Walsh, number 713. In 3rd position, number 1607, Brooke Young and Burnawang Evermore. And of course, our rider here was Talia Young. In 2nd position, number 300, Silkwood Sublime, of course ridden by Ebony Lee and owned by Bryony Lee, which leaves us just with one to announce, and that of course is our winner. And ladies and gentlemen, it goes to number 292, Marinda Alabaster and Daisy Plum. Congratulations, Daisy, well done. Thanks to International Animal Health Products for their support as well too. And we'll invite our judges who have had the role this morning, and we'll be inviting some of our ladies back again later today in relation to doing the same thing with our other turnout classes as well too. So ladies, if you'd like to step forward, and gentlemen, to sash our respective place getters here. And I shall pop up here and have a talk to our winner. And we thank Ruth Moody today. Ruth, for coming down and joining us, of course, who is the daughter of Jack Pemberton. Ruth, thanks for joining us today and sashing our winner. Well, this young lady and I, we're starting to become a familiar duo, you and I. Daisy, congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this morning. I know we're not down the road of Garryowen yet, but this is a little step, I suppose. You'd love to be doing that at a later stage. So this gives you a nice little taste of what it's all about.
Yeah, getting ready is like the hardest part, and then getting on the pony, and then winning's really good as well.
Now, you've had a really, really good show. You and Dad and your little sister, you've had a wonderful time here so far. And they tell me you haven't been the best of health.
Yeah, all been sick except Mum.
Oh, well, I suppose it gives you a good excuse to get out of school, doesn't it? So you can turn around and say, look, I'm sick, so I better go to the show.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you, well done. And to Dad and all the team behind you, no doubt. You're getting all the accolades at the moment, but there's a big group behind you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd love you to put your hands together for our top 6 in the first of our programs today, the Pemberton Equestrian Turnout. We'll ask Steve to take them a little lap of honour. And if you are in the crowd, please show your appreciation to these young riders. And we look forward to their future as we follow them through our Royal Show circuit. Actually, she was the same earlier in the show.
I think she's a bit... Is she shy?
I just
active and independent in their own homes. RDNS provides a range of home nursing and support services to help you to live your best life.
They come back to greet us.
Whether you're experiencing illness, injury, or just need help around the home, we are here for you every step of the way.
Yeah, and it feels like home. It feels like home.
RDNS, the nurses who come to you.
On a farm full of surprises, he's the sheep who's ahead of the flock. The one and only Sean the Sheep. He might be little, but don't let that fool you. He's cool, courageous, and incredibly crafty. Climb to the top of the heap with Sean the Sheep, A Prickly Problem. Now available on DVD.
When was the last time you did something you couldn't? When was the last time you shocked everyone and helped change the world too? Oxfam Trail Walker. Register at trailwalker.oxfam.org.au.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
We love Daryl Lee.
We love Daryl Lee.
We love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee.
Daryl Lee, loved by Australians since 1927.
Good on you, Mum. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mum. Good on you, Mum. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mum.
Backs to the walls.
Peter Hitchener has been delivering your news for 43 years.
Every day,
leading Melbourne's most experienced team.
the Hawks aren't
The team you know. The team you turn to. The team you trust. When news breaks, Melbourne turns to 9 News. Always there, always on. Experience is why you see it first. On 9 News.
The 2016 Royal Melbourne Show is proudly supported by Principal Partners, Woolworths, the fresh food people. Advance, #1 Australian brand recommended by vets and breeders. Coca-Cola Amatil, taste the feeling. Jayco, that's freedom. Major sponsors, RACV, Herald Sun, Weekly Times. Sponsors. The Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria greatly appreciates and values the support of the 2016 Royal Melbourne Show principal partners and sponsors.
Well, moving on with our turnout classes this morning. This time we welcome in class 288. It's our KG Luke Equestrienne turnout, open to boys and girls for those riders 15 years of age and under 18. So again, we like to thank our friends from International Animal Health Products for helping support us here at the Royal Melbourne Show. They've done a great job so far. I haven't seen Walter with his orange bucket this morning, but I'm sure he's gracing our presence somewhere around the Royal Melbourne Show. He keeps a very busy man between all his products floating around. So Walter, great to have you back. And again, International Animal Health Products supporting us here for our KG Luke Equestrienne Turnout.
Well, our first competitor for the KG Luke Equestrienne Turnout, open to girls and boys 15 years of age and under 18. As Case mentioned before, a big thank you to International Animal Health Products. It looks like it's Brooke Wheeler with Royal Fine Print. Well, just finishing her workout here in the KG Luke Equestrienne Turnout is number 1541, Royal Fine Print, and the rider here is Brooke Wheeler. Working out at the moment is number 1591, Bryony Lee aboard SLM Valentino. Our judge, Mr. Peter Stafford, is looking at conformation and soundness of the horse. And our final competitor to work out here will be number 1676, KJC Private Benjamin, to be ridden by Jamie Kaiser. Well, very shortly, as soon as our figures have been added up, we will be able to bring the results to you for the second of our classes this morning. And that's the KG Luke Equestrienne Turnout. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to announce our winners and ribbon place getters in the KG Luke Equestrienne Turnout, open to girls and boys 15 years of age and under 18. We might be small in quality, but we are very high, of course, in quality here today. Thanks to International Animal Health Products as well, too, for their support in this particular event. And I'm going to announce from third through to first. Our third place getter in the KG Luke Equestrienne Turnout is number 1676, Jamie Kaiser, KJC Private Benjamin. Now, this is going to be a process of elimination, isn't it? Because as soon as I announce the second winner, we know who the winner is, don't we? Second. Number 1541, Brooke Wheeler and Royal Fine Print. Brooke, come and join us. Which means, Bryony, you're left all on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to invite her to come forward. Number 1591, SLM Valentino, and a winner, Bryony Lee. We'll invite our judges to sash our respective winners out here. And a big thank you to our other judges through the morning as well too. A nice start to our Garryowen day this morning with our two events. This beautiful big trophy here. Unfortunately, I don't think Bryony gets to take that home. You'd think they'd be able to say, well, look, 6 months in your house and 6 months in the RASV's showcase. But her name now adorns that trophy with some very, very famous names now as we look back at it, of young ladies and gentlemen that have gone on to greater things in the equine world. Now, Bryony, you, of course, get your name engraved on there as well, too, as our winner in 2016. So our judges just pottering along here. Rachel Laurie just coming along and offering everyone congratulations and a smile. All right. Well, Bryony, I'm meeting all the Lee family. I met Dr. Lee yesterday. I didn't know we had a doctor in the family. How many of you are there?
There's 4 of us.
4 of us. No, big sister was out here yesterday. You must be pretty proud, but she tells me she's a doctor. But congratulations to you. Had a wonderful show.
Oh, it's been an awesome show. I'm so happy with the results and everything. Yeah.
It's already all very well to be out here in your hack classes and your Galloway classes and taking ribbons, but you come to a class like this to win this. What's it mean to you?
Oh, it's very important to me. Such a memorial and just, yeah.
All the team behind you? All the team behind you up early this morning, help you get ready?
Oh, it's been a stressful morning. Very stressful.
All right, we won't ask you about the stress, but we'll only ask you about the good things. But Bryony, lovely to see you out here again. And congratulations on taking one of our feature events leading up to our Garryowen, which is beginning at 10 o'clock this morning. So well done, ladies, to our 3 place getters, to Jamie, to Bryony, and also to Brooke. Well done, girls. Thank you very much. And to our judges and everyone else. I think we might take them on a little lap of honour. If we can see if we can get that orchestra fired up their case.
Get ready, get set, let's go. If we never go, we'll never know. 'Cause you and I, oh yeah, we could fly so high, so high. You and I won't let this moment pass us by, pass us by.
Kids like it, dads like it, even good old Auntie Madge likes it. Nobody doesn't like Sara Lee. People who dig holes like it,
Not to mention Mom.
blokes with no hair like it.
Teddy bears like it.
Do we forget anyone? Volunteers like it, folks with ears like it. Haven't seen in years like it. Nobody doesn't like Sara Lee. What was it?
Something wild calls you home.
Disney's Pete's Dragon.
Cirque du Soleil's Cruiser, under the big top at Flemington Racecourse. Book now.
The compact SUV for wherever you dream of going. From only $26,990 drive away. The Honda HR-V.
Well, fellas, we all having fun? It's my turn to get the oranges. I'll get Willie's half-time oranges. They're so juicy, their hands get stickier. Your ball skills get better. Go Bears! See what I mean?
Juicy Australian-grown half-time oranges.
That's why I pick Woolies.
I think it's a million amazing moments, you know, tucking her into bed at night.
To see them start to smile again and interact with others and be happy and giggle.
I don't give them as much as they give me.
Being there for each other and loving each other.
We know we're making a difference, and that's always just a great feeling that we get for doing it. Anyone can do it.
You can change these kids' lives.
Every day, more Australian consumers are choosing to go local, and the trusted destination for all your big brand home appliances is your local Better Store. With over 170 stores Australia-wide, you get the buying power you need. With the type of service you thought was long gone. Need it delivered and installed? We can help with that too. And whether you choose to shop online or in store, you're helping your local community. Why? Because the people that run your local Better Store own it. So go local. That's better.
Good on you, Mum. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mum. Good on you, Mum. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mum.
When was the last time you did something you couldn't? When was the last time you shocked everyone and helped change the world too? Oxfam Trail Walker. Register at trailwalker.oxfam.org.au.
The bold new Honda Civic comes with a wide-angle reversing camera as standard,
Stolen a Shih Tzu.
so you can get going with ease.
Bring up maps.
And with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto across the range, you're free to chase it in any direction. Wherever your dreams may lead. The bold new Honda Civic from only $24,990 drive away.
Professionals will make your home star using new media, new tools and new systems to reach more buyers. For your free online property price check and market appraisal, visit professionals.com.au.
I spoke to the PSOs on the platform one night and it all started from there. I grew up always being part of the community, volunteering, and this just kind of takes it to the next level. You're not just helping out, but you're also obviously enforcing the law and making sure that everyone feels like they can get home safe. I love the work-life balance I have being a PSO. I play football along with some other fellow PSO colleagues, so we work our rosters around that. That was the best feeling in the world, was graduating.
What was that?
I think everyone should see it on the school holidays. Best graphics I've ever seen in my life.
Out of 10?
20.
20? Disney's Pete's Dragon.
Wow, I've lost another 3 kilos.
Doctor, if diet and exercise aren't enough, get your doctor on your side.
Cirque du Soleil's Cruiser, under the big top at Flemington Racecourse. Book now.
Handcrafted. Real ingredients. The pride of artisanal quality. Bertocchi since 1972.
At JG King, we throw everything at our steel frames, so our homes stand up to whatever life throws at you. With $30,000 of value included at no extra cost, there's never been a better time to step up to steel. JG King.
Sunday kind of love, and I'd like to know it's more than love at first sight. I want a Sunday kind of
The return of the affordable Sunday roast.
That's why I pick Woolies.
The 2016 Royal Melbourne Show is proudly supported by Principal Partners, Woolworths, the fresh food people. Advance, #1 Australian brand recommended by vets and breeders. Coca-Cola Amatil, taste the feeling. Jayco, that's freedom. Major sponsors, RACV, Herald Sun, Weekly Times. Sponsors. The Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria greatly appreciates and values the support of the 2016 Royal Melbourne Show principal partners and sponsors.
I'm good just to balance it once they're having a combo.
Since 1885, RDNS has been helping Australians stay active and independent in their own homes. RDNS provides a range of home nursing and support services to help you to live your best life.
They come back to greet us.
Whether you're experiencing illness, injury, or just need help around the home, we are here for you every step of the way.
Yeah, and it feels like home. It feels like home.
RDNS, the nurses who come to you.
Join Thomas
Maybe I can do anything I want to.
in a thrilling musical adventure.
I'm full of surprises.
Are you singing, Diesel? And discover if he has what it takes to get to the Great Railway Show.
I've got to get across. I can't stop now.
When was the last time you did something you couldn't? When was the last time you shocked everyone and helped change the world too? Oxfam Trail Walker. Register at trailwalker.oxfam.org.au.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
We 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 love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee.
Daryl Lee, loved by Australians since 1927.
Make it a stellar Sunday. Every week in the Sunday Herald Sun.
Get ready, get set, let's go. If we never go, we'll never know. 'Cause you and I, oh yeah, we could fly so high, so high. You and I won't let this moment pass us by, pass us by.
Welcome to Air China Service Hotline. For ticket booking, please press 1.
You'll have a good time and to know you I know. Just wanna be with you. Our love can last forever. I will listen to your heart, my friend.
Well, to you all sitting in the grandstands, wherever you may be with us today, hope that you enjoy the next couple of hours, because a lot of nervous young ladies down here as they vie to be a part of history here at the Royal Melbourne Show for our Garryowen, the time-honoured event for equestrians here in this nation. And a young lady who's joining me up here in commentary, as she does every year, as a lady who's been there and done it. She was a winner of this prestigious event not all that long ago. She's going to talk us through the day. And it's lovely to have her with us at the moment. Good morning, madam. How are you?
Good morning, Rob. How are you? And it's great to be back.
Sarah Love, of course, I'm speaking to, and well, we've got quite a few young ladies here this year. We've got quite a few first-year girls as well too, which is always great, Sarah, because it just paves the way for probably our future down the road. That if they've enjoyed the experience this year as their first year, they'll be back.
Yeah, look, it's sensational. How many newcomers have we got this year, Rob? I think we're up to about 9 or 10 newcomers, which I think would be a record for the Garryowen in the past 20 years. It's very exciting, and I've been down there this morning watching the girls. Everyone's pretty calm, collected, and thank goodness for the weather it's taken up, so let's have a great day.
Well, our judges, you would know many of these young ladies. You've probably, and gentlemen, you've probably been competing against them yourself. We've got Susan Pedersen, who's our riding judge, Peter Strafford, who's doing our confirmation, Samantha Kennedy, manners and paces, Bev Richards is our saddlery judge, Rachel Laurie, our general appearance judge, and Peter Plozza, our costume judge. So they're our 6 judges that we've got here. And it was quite interesting the other day because I was over doing the Royal Adelaide show and talking to a young lady over there by the name of Samantha Kennedy, watching her in the saddle and having success. And she said, "Oh, Rob, I'll see you over there in Melbourne. What are you doing?" "I'm coming across to judge." So we've got these judges out here today who have been very much not sitting back looking at our industry for a while, still very much a part of it and competing.
That's fabulous. And there's Sammy walking out there in a beautiful cream outfit. Another one, she's absolutely wowed us the last 3 or 4 days.
Well, I thought we had Julia Roberts out there yesterday. She was in red and looked absolutely sensational.
I know,
so.
it's stunning. And they all look Melbourne Cup material, really, isn't it?
Well, it is, to be quite truthful, which is lovely to see. A nice, fresh look.
And, of course, you know, as competitors, we really don't get to see everyone dressed up, so it's nice to see our fellow riders out there and showing their legs and the beautiful hats rather than breeches and all covered up.
Well, let me tell you, I don't want to sound sexist, but she doesn't look too bad in a pair of breeches either, just quietly. She looked stunning over there in Adelaide in her riding outfit with her horse. And, of course, we mentioned one of our other judges, Miss Laurie, who's out here with us today, a young lady who certainly knows what it takes to win this event.
Peter Plozza, another judge. She's competed in the Garryowen for many, many, many years. And her daughter's now quite successful in dressage and showing. And we have Bev Richards doing the saddlery. She's also very successful with a very good horse called Diamond's, a very sashed show hunter.
Well, at the moment, our first riders we should be greeting us out here this morning. If we're going by the draw, which took place, I think, Tuesday afternoon, Sarah, where I think you're all to high tea and enjoyed yourselves with cups of tea and sponges and cake. We're all given the opportunity to draw their own order that they come out in. And I'm just wondering whether Ashley Sorrigan was pretty happy being number 1. She's aboard a horse called Certainty. And no doubt we've got a bio on her there somewhere. So Ashley Sorrigan, number 1751.
Ashley actually is very steeped in history here. Her grandfather, Stan Fear, who I know is sitting in the stands watching his granddaughter, he's a life member of the RAS, along with Ashley's mother and Ashley's auntie. They've had more than 30 years service to the RAS, so we do have a lot of history here, and also Ashley's grandmother, who passed away many years ago, Norma Fear. All the junior turnouts are in her honour.
Well, we had the privilege earlier in the show to have all the Fear family here with us. And as you said, the leading rein, all those junior turnouts, which was something that Norma did with all her family. And they've carried on a wonderful tradition. And this is a great story here. And we've had some great stories that have surrounded the Garryowen over a period of years. Let me find a little bit about Ashley for you here, or Ashlyn, I should say. She's a hairdresser by occupation. So she could probably pick up a little bit of money early this morning, going around all the boxes, getting the girls' hair ready. But she's probably got to get her own done. Certainly is a 6-year-old thoroughbred, and she's been competing at the Royal Melbourne Show here for 16 years, and this is her first time in the Garryowen. So we wish her good luck today at her first attempt of the Garryowen. The disciplines that she's previously been involved in, of course, she's always been in showing and placings at Royals as a newcomer to the Champion Large Hack at Barristock in 2016. And she purchased this fellow here 2 years off the track and has taken her along slowly to her first show. It was in November 2015. And Melbourne Royal is only her 10th show. And her first Royal show, she is still a baby and has come a long, long, long way. She was lucky enough to win Barristock Newcomer Large Hack in 2016. So we wish her well.
So as you'll see, our costume judge, Mrs. Peter Plozza, is checking over the girls. She'll be looking for all the intricate detail of the breeches, being cavalry pure wool, cavalry twill from England. The breeches are all hand-stitched. They'll have 6 buttons on the breeches, and you'll see there's a gaiter strap holding the, well, not holding the boots up, that's what it used to do. It's actually there for no reason. But the coat, that's a 22-ounce wool, heavy as heavy. And, of course, all this outfit is traditional hunting gear used in England, and hence it's actually quite good having a cool day, because when it's about 26 degrees, it's jolly hot having all that gear on.
Well, we're going to be joined by Casey down there at ground level, and we'll have a chat with a few of the girls as they finish their workout. And Casey will catch up with them just to find out perhaps a little bit about their morning, whether they were happy with their workout, or we might unfold a little story out of them at some stage. Here's the first one, of course, today, learning a little bit about Ashlyn, as having a lot of history with the RASV, with her family and her granddad. Of course, Stanfield was very much involved with the Olympic movement as well too, with the Australians going overseas to the Olympic Games. But she's about to come into the arena in a few moments' time, as soon as she gets her horse warmed up. I often feel sometimes, Sarah, when I look at the Garryowen, when you've got people sort of pulling you apart and looking, you know, the back of your breeches and looking at see whether your stock's tied right. You're almost being undressed out there, aren't you?
Really?
Well, look, I know it's all part of the judging of it all, but you know, it's someone looking for faults.
Well,
they're not looking for the good points; they're looking for faults, aren't they?
They're looking for faults, and you know, if you get it right, you should get 20 out of 20. It's, you know, the problem is these days with the turnouts. I mean, years ago, every country show had an equestrian turnout, and all the girls would frock up in their Garryowen gear. Whereas now there are no equestrian turnouts, formal ones, I say, at the ag shows, and we only have the Garryowen and then the turnout in Sydney and the turnout in Adelaide. So it's extremely difficult when you're only doing it once a year to get it right.
And I think the thing also, Sarah, you correct me if I'm wrong here, but we look at some of the gear that they've got on there, and I'm talking about saddles, bridles, etc. Whilst your jacket and your breeches and your boots and everything can be as new as you can, you really want gear that's worn in.
No, this is a husband and a partner's delight. Everything old, everything second-hand. If you can borrow it, it's fantastic. Older, the more used, the better. Especially with your gear, you know, suppleness in the saddle and the stirrup leathers and the reins. Look, most of these girls have probably bought second-hand, well, not second-hand coats, but, well, they are, but coats from other girls in the past.
Sure.
The breeches, because to actually have this outfit made is extremely expensive, which I'll go into later on. So,
all right, well, let's sit back here, and our first competitor in our Garryowen to do the workout is Ashlyn Sorrigan aboard Certainty, number 1751.
Well, what a fabulous workout from Ashley, and there won't be a dry eye in the grandstand from Grandpa Stan and the other few girls. Well done, Ashley. It was terrific. First year competitor, first time out, great effort.
Well, our next competitor to grace the workout will be Rebecca Phillips, and we've got to be very nice to Rebecca. For one reason, she's a police officer. She's 38 years of age from Garryowen East, and the horse is Westwood's Mastercast, a 10-year-old thoroughbred cross-riding pony, and she became involved with horses only 3 years ago. Oh, sorry, I'll take that back, because I'm trying to work out if she's been here at Melbourne Show for 10 years, how can she be only... But okay, I see what she's saying here. When did you first become involved with horses? When she was 3 years old. So as a littlie, she's been competing here at Royal Melbourne for 10 years, and here in the Garryowen as a first-year competitor here today. Of course, there's another one of our young ladies who came through the Pony Club and Showing Ring. Has won numerous open rider turnouts at Adelaide, Melbourne. Was reserve champion lady rider back here some years ago. Also has competed well at Barristock. And this lady's background also, she spent a lot of time training the police horses for the Victoria Mounted Branch. Well, time for us to probably pop down and we'll catch up with Case and we'll learn a little bit more about our first competitor, and Ashlyn Sorrigan.
Well, Ashlyn, I don't know whether I put the moz on you the other day down at our Garryowen High Tea. I was down there and I was speaking about who's going to go first, et cetera, and then all of a sudden I call up your name and you wouldn't believe it, you drew the barrier 1. How did that feel out there this morning?
Yeah, she felt great, especially she's only been going since November. So yeah, I'm really proud of her.
A long family history here with the RASV. Everyone's up in the grandstands watching. You can see the emotion in you. Your workout was really looking good. Who's up there that you want to say thank you, the team behind you?
Oh, everyone that helped me get ready, especially Mum, Daryl, Katrina, Carol, everyone knows who they are. They've really helped me get here.
Did you feel the nerves going out there for the first time, first-year competitor? As I said, they'd mentioned up there before, 16 years you've been showing and competing. Was that different out there this morning?
I think I was probably more relaxed than what I am in most classes, really. But yeah, she was really good for me, so yeah.
Well, congratulations from the eye. The workout looked absolutely fantastic. Now sit back and bask in the glory. The hard work's done.
Well, Case, I've got to pick my co-commentator off the floor here. She's teared up as well too. What a lovely interview.
Oh, yeah, I've really teared up.
Well, much to the applaudance of the crowd. It's great to see that we've got some supporters out there this morning. And of course, we're talking about Rebecca Phillips and Westwood's Mastercast, who has just completed her workout. Okay, we move forward, and Carey Blizzard should be our next competitor, number 855. Carey just getting her horse warmed up at the moment. She'll be in. It's marvellous how we look back, Sarah, at the various occupations of some of our competitors today. We've gone from policewomen. Here we are talking about a registered nurse. The horse's name is Simpson. He's 9 years of age. He's a thoroughbred. And she became involved in the equine world at a very, very young age. She's competed at Royal Melbourne Show on several occasions, and she's been competing in the Garryowen Equestrienne on 2 other occasions. So she's probably got, I wouldn't say got over the nerves, but she now knows what's required from those 2 years that she's had.
Yeah, Carrie is also one of the few people I was watching her get ready this morning, and she actually did it on her own with her partner, just 2 of them, whereas most of the people here surround themselves with probably 6, 7 or 8 people, and I know Carrie did the whole lot herself, which is hard work. As you know, you need 2 or 3 people to get your horse ready, and you probably need 2 or 3 people to dress you, so you do really need to surround yourself with a team, and doing it on your own, as I said, is jolly hard work.
Well, this fellow here, as a racehorse, raced 18 times with no real success. It was purchased by herself 18 months ago off the track. So it's another one of our off-the-track horses, which has now developed into a really, really good program here in Victoria. A lot of the other states are starting to copy off us, using their own brand, but the same principle, which is a great start for our horses who we see probably aren't good enough to be racehorses, and yet there could be hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on them, and they fail, but they get another chance here in the show ring.
Yeah, the off-the-track series is fantastic. Probably in the last 3 or 4 years it's really built up, and they have, at every ag show you have an off-the-track class, and whoever you only get to win once and then qualify for the championship at Vasa in January at Bendigo, but each winner gets $50 and a sash and a bag full of goods. So Racing Victoria, or the industry, has thrown a lot of money to for these off-the-track horses, which is great to see.
Well, I get the chance to be the main commentator at Vasa every year up there at Bendigo now, and last year's off-the-track series was a cracker. We had some lovely animals. We had some big fields, and we started at about 4:30 in the afternoon, and we were still going at 7 o'clock at night.
Last time I went to Vasa, it was 45 degrees for 3 days in a row.
Oh, did you get caught in any thunderstorms?
Yes, we did. It's always on the Sunday.
Last day.
Every
it's always
day.
noted.
Yep.
I've got some pictures here I'll show you later on of that oval under about 4 foot of water. And half an hour beforehand, it was in blazing sunshine.
Fierce windstorms, aren't they? They just blow everything over.
Yeah,
It's
no, I've only
vile.
been caught twice in the water up there. I've only been up there about 3 years, but it's a great show.
So for the people sitting in the stands, there'll be a judge judging the riding ability of the rider, and she'll be giving points out of 50. There'll be another judge on the far side under the members' stand. They're judging manners and paces, and that's 40 points. And then you'll see Kerry coming back to our confirmation and soundness judge, and points will be allotted out of 50 for that also. And then down here with the saddlery, costume and the general appearance, all of those marks are out of 20.
Well, our next competitor to make their way into the arena is Penelope Greenhill. Penelope is a 32-year-old young lady from Balnarring. Now, she's an interior designer. The horse's name here is Coal Beach Party, 10 years of age. She's a thoroughbred riding pony cross. She's been competing here since she was a 2-year-old. 5th time at the Garryowen. How many tries did you have at the Garryowen?
Well, it's quite legendary, Rob. I went in it when I was 18 in 1981, which obviously I'm really old now, and I'm pretty sure I came last. I had the most atrocious ride, and to this day my mother has never been told that we were supposed to work the horse at 2 o'clock in the morning, but my sister and myself actually slept in, didn't get up till 5, so hence there was a bit of disaster there. And then I rode in it in 2009 and came 3rd, and then of course in 2010 I was lucky enough to win it.
Well, I thought of you through the week, actually. I don't want to bring the tears up here, but of course your old horse, Talakard, we had a little presentation on behalf of him, so he holds a dear spot in your heart. And at the same time, we remembered him through the week, and it's lovely to see that you haven't forgotten about him. And at the same time, we can recognise his feats for you because he's made you a part of history.
He has, and I was so lucky to have a horse like that. You don't realise what you got until you haven't got it. And at the moment, I think he's a little bit wet under the tree because we're in full flood at home, so he's got about 10 foot of water over the top of him.
Well, Penelope, this horse's background was purchased as an unbroken 5-year-old, and they've been a partnership ever since, doing all his training and education. What a great journey. They've won open ridden hack classes at Royal Adelaide Show this year. And of course, the senior equestrian turnout, they did exceptionally well over there. And also won the open ridden hack over there as well too. So I've managed to see a little bit of Penelope before she's arrived here. So we wish her good luck here. I'll let you have a focus on her workout, and no doubt you can shed some light on that in a moment.
I can't believe how well all these early horses are working. It's absolutely fabulous. They're really setting the benchmark for later on.
No wind.
No wind. But you know, it's pretty electric out there, and so far everyone's done an absolutely fantastic job. So bring it on for Heat 2 and 3, I think.
Well, I suppose what excites us in some ways, Sarah, and I don't mean to be giving too much away, but when you see where we've gone so far during the show of who's having success and who's just sort of breathing down a blue ribbon success, and then we have a look to this today, we turn around and say, well, they must come in with a bit of confidence. And we're going to be seeing quite a few of those competitors here today that we've watched through the show already. We had the hacks yesterday for the very first time, so we got a glimpse at many of the horses that we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah, you may have done well during the week, but when it comes to this, you haven't got one judge, you've got 5 judges. And, you know, you forget your cane, you're gone. You get a wrong leg, you're gone. If something else, they may have forgotten to put something in their pocket, or the gaiter straps are slipping the wrong way, and really you just get marked down so you can be as confident, but it can turn to custard pretty quickly.
Well, the horse that we're watching in the workout at the moment is Broadway Duntroon. Penny Ahern, number 1639. Now, a lady you know a little bit about.
Penny's a past winner. She's borrowed this horse. He's a fabulous show hunter, extremely well credentialed at nationals, grand nationals, royal shows, and looks like he's giving her a great ride. It's extremely hard to pick up a catch ride and get it all right, but she seems to have it together here. This horse, I think, has had several riders on him during the week. He's just a corker.
It's funny how horses leave a little impression on you, because we've seen him out here all show. And the first thing you look at and say, oh, he's missing a sock. We've got to find one out there somewhere for him. But he's a lovely big strong type, isn't he?
Oh, he's a gorgeous horse, yeah. Sally Shaw had great success on Duntroon, and now he's owned by Tildy Longbottom from Melbourne, and she's very kindly lent him to Penny.
Well, Matilda was another young lady who had some success in Adelaide as well, and of course they make the journey across to here to Melbourne, and a lot of our showies, they'll come down the coast and do the show to show to show, and it sort of almost ends here to a certain extent, because I think Western Australia begin their Royal Show probably a couple of days before we finish. So many of our show jumpers go across to Western Australia, but I'm not too sure whether too many of our hackies head that direction.
Well, it's been a really short turnaround this year, because Adelaide was last week and you had 6 days to get home and get everything cleaned up and back to another Royal. And it's also very difficult when you're taking horses to a Royal Show. They do lose a lot of weight.
Actually, you touched on a very point. Well done. You touched on a very, very good point there, Sarah, because a lot of the horses I saw in Adelaide, they were just starting to get a little bit tired. They'd been there, they'd been in a box, and they'd been in that box there for 5 or 6 days. And you've only got 6 days to turn around, put your horse in the paddock and just try and freshen him up, and he's going to be in a box again. It's a hard job.
Oh, especially if you've got a thoroughbred that, you know, you struggle to get the weight on. I don't know how many went over to Adelaide this year, but I would imagine not as many. They would have set themselves up for Melbourne, because it's just too hard to do with a horse that doesn't do well.
Well, our next competitor to grace the arena is this big grey here at the moment, Buckwell Park Chance. The rider here is Brittany James, and Brittany is number 1267. 26-year-old from Echuca, another hairdresser and educator. The horse Chance is a 9-year-old warm-blood Arabian. And the other interesting thing here for this young lady is that she's another first-yearer. First time at the Garryowen. She's been competing here for a couple of years, though. Disciplines that she's previously been involved in. She loves her dressage, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes here in this workout. I'll get you just to keep one eye down there for me. All right, just as you do that, let's go down and join Case again.
Well, I've got with me Penelope Greenhill. Well, they were speaking about coming back from Adelaide. You've been there. You had great success. I had the privilege of interviewing you over there. This little fella for you, he never ceases to amaze us with his success.
Yes, he's a great little friend of mine. Very proud of him.
The weather, it's held out. The first thing that you said, oh, wow, we're not getting rained on, Casey. That's got to be a good start.
Yes, I woke this morning to hear rain on the roof and I thought, oh no. So very pleased at the moment the skies are holding.
Take us through the workout. How did that feel for you out there? Because it looked good to the eye.
Quite good. Sitting trot, not so good, but the rest pleased.
The outfit, Sarah said that on a day like today is fantastic because it's all woolen and keeps you nice and warm. Is it doing its job?
Yes, pleased to have the thicker clothes on today.
Well, best of luck to you, Penelope, as we'll keep watching our competitors out in the ring. Good luck for the overall and enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Case. We'll come back down to you shortly again for another interview and catch up with one of our other riders as they finish their workout today. Now, something very interesting here, I can tell you. No doubt you've had horses that have little traits about them. This 9-year-old grey here loves licorice. Do you ever have a horse that...
No, they don't. Mine certainly don't get licorice because I can't stand it. But I was with a friend of mine during the week and she kept feeding her horse chewing gum. I've never heard of it. And mints. Chewing gum. And swallowed it.
I always get told, I used to get told by my grandparents, if you chew that chewing gum, it'll wrap around your appendix.
My mother used to say if you chew chewing gum, I'll just about wash your mouth out.
Yeah, I'll slap your face, yeah. How many times did you get hit across the head or the cuts at school for chewing gum in class? All right, let's move on. Now, the horse we're about to see come out here now is a horse called Summerins Derby. Rebecca Maddox is our rider here, and Beck is 36 years of age from Middle Park and a dental practician. Summerins Derby was 12 years of age. He's an Arabian warm blood. And this is interesting here. What age did you first become involved with horses? She's got 2013, so this has been a very, very quick journey for this young lady.
Wow. 3 years in the saddle. How fantastic. And then to be riding in the Garryowen. That's amazing.
Well,
Most of these girls have started, when they're born on a horse at 3 or 4 years old.
Well, I'm not sure whether that could be a misprint because I'm now doing my homework backwards here. How many times have you competed in the Garryowen? 4 times.
Well, clearly not right.
Yes, correct. But that looks like 2013 to me.
But
it was a good story anyhow, wasn't
it? We can only go what's on the commentary sheet, so Rob.
She's had a lot of success at showing.
So the second heat has just come onto the track, and we've got our first of the second heat competitor now being looked over for general appearance. And then she'll move on. The horse will be taken and be checked by Bev Richards for the saddlery, and then the rider will move over to Mrs. Peter Plaza for her costume marks. Talking about the costume, Rob, do you know why they have gaiter straps?
Well, they don't serve a purpose, do they?
They don't serve a purpose, but in the 18th century when they were hunting in England with the brambles and the bracken and the sticks and goodness knows what that would rip your clothing because it was all silk, not wool in those days. They had the boots were up to your top of your thigh, and to keep the leather up, they had the gaiter strap to hold the leather high so you didn't get hurt.
Oh, interesting. Actually, I learnt something else the other day too, and I'll share that with you in a moment. But Beck Maddox got some good fans in the crowd, urging her on there, and appreciative of a good workout as well too. So let's move forward. Young lady we've seen just about take everything in front of her so far at this year's show. She's been jumping from pony to pony, from horse to horse, and a very competent young equestrian, Jess Stalling. If it's not on the flat, it's over the hurdles or over the jumps. And I've enjoyed watching Jess, not only competing here, but at the Echo and Adelaide, and now down here to Melbourne. She's had a busy transition from Adelaide. I think she went back into States for a few days for another show and then arrived here about a day to go. And every day she's been out here. But a very competent young lady. I think, what is she, about middle 20s? Am I allowed to talk about girls' ages?
Jess is 26. She's also a World Cup show jumper. She's an amazing competitor. So 1 minute she's on ponies and hacks, and then the next minute she's jumping 1.30 metre. Jess really put all this together 2 days ago with her costume and her gear, and it just so happens that I might have had a fair part of this one.
Well, you've got to be unbiased. You've got to be not biased.
I'm not biased.
No.
But isn't it
you'd
nice?
Like to see her do well, though,
she's
wouldn't
so
you?
skinny and fits into my gear. It makes me look good.
Well, again, I've got to be careful how I say this. She's got a very, very nice figure. But and that transposes from the fact of you can see the way she just fits to that saddle. I mean, these girls that you look at Jess here, she's got a lovely line through her. She's got those lovely long legs about her. And it doesn't matter whether she's on a pony or whether she's on a hack. She really looks the complete package.
Well, as I said before, this is the last of our first heat competitors. And these first 10 girls have really set it up for the rest of the competitors. We're just having a talk in the commentary box, and we've just had a lot of scratchings for the next heat.
Yeah, that's
Rob.
interesting. Not too sure what's transpired there. Well, some of those scratchings, again, are our first years too. So I'm not sure whether the horses hasn't come up. In relation to, can I ask you a question here? Question without notice here, Sarah. We go to World Cup show jumping, we have a trot up. Our horses get examined the morning of or the day before the trot up. In relation to these horses here now, do we have a vet's examination prior to this event?
No, you don't. In showing, in dressage, certainly at FEI level, you have a trot up as well. Showing and hacking is completely different. You will find your judge will just mark you down. If there's unsoundness in the animal, you basically won't receive the ribbon that you want. And of course, we have a judge here that is doing confirmation and soundness, and they'll be looking at obviously whether the legs are straight, the neck, if they're in a picture, and what we call a picture is the 3 pieces, and it's a box. And you look at the neck, you look at the barrel, and you look at the rump, and you go, wowee, that is just all right there. And it's very easy to pick.
Interesting you're talking about the gaiter straps. Before we were lucky enough to have over in Adelaide, prior to coming over here, a side saddle demonstration. And I had a lovely young girl talking me through it all, and luckily I knew a fair bit about it. But we went down to the scenario of explaining to people, because we were live streaming, is what we're doing here today as well, the stock, you know, the reason for why we have the stock. And all of a sudden I said to her, well, it's used for not just for like a tie, we use it for another reason at all. And she agreed with me. She said, yes, Rob, we do. She said, if we ever needed a sling or something in relation to a tourniquet or whatever, and when she said tourniquet, it frightened the hell out of me, but the stock itself is used for another purpose as well.
Yeah, the stock is if the horse injures himself in the hunt field. You've got to remember, everything these girls have got on is to do with traditional hunting. So yes, the stock is for a sling for yourself or a bandage for your horse if he cuts himself. It's also was supposed to be for a neck brace, really. That's why it's so tight. And your stock pin, of course, is to attach the stock so it doesn't fall off when the animal's injured, or fix up your sling. You also notice the girls, the stock, when it's finished tying, always goes to the left, whereas men, it's the same as your jackets, they button up to the right. Next one.
All right, let's move on to our next competitor here, and it will be Georgie Kellogg, number 443, and the horse will be the Russian. Georgie is one of our youngsters, and she's 19 years of age. She comes from Hawthorne East. She's a uni student studying fashion at RMIT. The Russian, or as he's known around the stables, his name is Walter. 13-year-old thoroughbred. She's been competing here at Royal Melbourne Show on 4 other occasions, and this is her 2nd year in the Garryowen. This was a horse, I think it was owned by Kristen White back in 2014. She's competed at the EA Nationals and the SHC Grand Nationals, and she's been under her care for about 3 years. Was lucky enough to get reserve champion at Sydney Royal in the Hunter Hack, and also was champion Hunter Hack at Barristock Horse of the Year. He's a big boy. He's 17.2. And his best friend, do you know what his best friend is?
A Shetland pony.
A 9-hand Shetland pony. So
17.2, you get a nosebleed, wouldn't you, on that one?
Oh, look, I spotted a horse out here the other day. It was huge. I looked at the girl when I was talking to her, and I said, geez, I'd get vertigo if I got up there.
Oh, that was that big chestnut.
Oh, it was
17.3
yeah, nearly 18 hands. We don't see too many race horses that are that big, but that's a very, very, very big horse. So Georgie Kellogg out here on Walter, or his show name is the Russian.
Right, well, there go the first heat. They can go back to the stables, unsaddle the horses and sit there in all their finery for an hour and a half and wait for the results, which should be around 12 o'clock, I would say.
Well, I'm just wondering who Case might be able to try and catch up with a little bit later on.
Well, I was going to try and grab Jess as we got this heat off. So I might get Jess to come up here while Steve can still marshal off our other competitors. Come on over here, Jess. Welcome to my little corner office here, as I'd like to say. Well, Jess, this guy, he's had a very successful show for you this year. Does it make you head into this event with a little bit of confidence, knowing that he's been so well performed so far?
I think it does help a little bit, but not so much. I think, it's a new day. Anything can happen. He's not a machine, but he went amazing, so I couldn't be happier.
I've heard so much about you from Dad. He's been admiring your riding for a very long time. As a rider that rides from all disciplines in terms of horse size, do you find it difficult getting off such a big hack like this bloke and then jumping onto a pony and sending them around the arena?
Yes, definitely.
It makes it hard. And then what about going into the show jumping? How many disciplines in the equestrian world would you cover?
Just the 2, just show jumping and show horses. Yeah, it is definitely hard going vice versa between the 2, trying to ride long and then having to ride short and different leg position between jumping and showing. It's definitely a little bit of a challenge for me.
How much time is spent for you during the weeks, etc., riding a horse?
All day, every day.
Well, all day, every day. Let's hope it pays off for you in this 2016 Garryowen. Good luck.
Thanks, Case. Thanks, Jess. Good luck. Our next competitor out there competing at this point in time, it should be Emma Hales, I think. Emma's 20 years of age from Narrabeen East. She's a student. The horse is Never a Doubt, another thoroughbred. And again, we're talking about one of our first-time Garryowen equestrian turnouts, and here she is for the very, very first time. Enjoys the disciplines of dressage, showing and eventing, and has won some multiple turnouts this year, several classes with reserve champions as well too. She's evented this fellow for a couple of years before taking up showing with him by a horse called Reduced Choice, who was a champion in his own way as a sire in the thoroughbred racing world, and as a racehorse did win a couple of events himself.
So, as you can see, the competitor down here is just dismounted and just giving herself a bit of a shakedown. And she's about to present herself to the costume judge, and you'll see Mrs. Beverly Richards going over the saddlery. Everything here is all hand-stitched. These saddles are turnout saddles. They're not used normally in the show ring. So they're sometimes a little bit difficult to ride in. I think they've improved over the years. She's probably checking the stirrup leathers, which are all double stitched leather. There's no, like show jumping stirrups when you've got the padding on the inside to stop them stretching. The stirrups are hunting irons without stops in them, rubber stops, which is can be quite difficult if they're not if they're too shiny. You'll get marked down if the little core things in the bottom of the stirrup are rasped off, because they're there for a reason, because the girls have also got leather-soled boots on, which we don't normally ride in. Years gone by, we didn't have a sheepskin saddle cloth under the saddle. Thank God now we do. The Fitzwilliam girth that she'll be looking at, there's a way of putting it on. It faces backwards, because if it goes forwards, it has a double flap, and in the hunt field, the dirt gets in the flap. So that's why you have everything facing backwards for the mud side of things. The number holder, yep. And then, of course, the bridle, that's all English leather, hand-stitched. There's no raising. It's all flat brow band, flat nose band, which we don't normally have. As I said, this is all pure turnout gear. These bridles probably won't be used for anything else. They also have plain reins, not laced, which if it's wet can be quite difficult to hold onto as it slips through your gloves. You'll notice all the buckles on the bridle, they're with eye level, and they're all in the fourth hole. 3 holes above, 3 holes below, and they all go on the fourth hole. The curb chain, that's obviously attached around the bit. The chain is never left to dangle. You have to hook it over, so there's no. It's extremely intricate, Rob, and even with the stirrup leathers, they have to be a certain length so they don't hang over the back of the saddle. This is Turnout. This is what makes it the Garryowen, and so many things can go wrong.
I reckon it would be easier to join the mafia, to be quite truthful. The young lady we're looking at the moment here is Cherie Lee. Now, I had the privilege of meeting this young lady yesterday for the first time, Dr. Cherie Lee. And when I saw the name Lee, I'm thinking, how many of these children are there? Not that I would call Cherie a child. She's 27 years of age. She's a chiropractor. The horse's name is Tonic.
The Lee family have had great success, Rob. All the girls, they all ride. They're all Royal Show champions. Champion hack, champion pony. I think you saw that they were yesterday, the young ones. I think they were champion rider.
Well, young Bryony this morning. Pardon me. That went down the wrong way.
No, you've got a chaff ball, I think.
Well, as long as it's not a fur ball, I'll be right. Yeah, young Bryony this morning won one of the classes we had earlier today.
Oh, you might have to put up with me for the rest of the day. It looks like he's choking up here. Yeah, the Lee family, they're from Wallen, just north of Melbourne, and they've just been to Adelaide with great success. And I think this is the second child of the Lees to ride in the Garryowen. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, her little sisters. I was saying yesterday, Sarah, one of the beautiful photos that were captured in Adelaide the other day were both Bryony and Ebony. Bryony had, I think Bryony had beaten Ebony, or it was the other way around. But the two girls, they came to the ride-off, and at the photo, where we're getting the photos taken, next minute both the girls leaned over, gave one another a hug and a kiss, and patted one another's horse. It was just a lovely touch. It really was nice.
It's fabulous. They're either, champion or reserve just about everywhere they go. They're terrific riders, the Lee girls. And they do a lot of catch rides for other people as well on strange horses, and they jump. So they're multi-talented.
Well, I was just about to say to you, would you believe this young lady enjoyed novelty racing and was the Australian Open champion at 14 years of age. So they're very, very capable young girls. Tonic, of course, was a retired racehorse. He had 18 starts and he was a maiden, so he didn't have a lot of success on the racetrack as well too. But today she's carrying, or he, I should say, is carrying Cherie, hopefully, to success here in the Garryowen. Danielle James, 23 years of age, from Langwarrin here, is a banking specialist. The horse we're looking at here now is Rangeview Majesty, a 14-year-old. Now this is interesting. Here we've got a Holsteiner warm blood. So it's not all about the thoroughbreds out here, is it?
No, this event has changed incredibly in the last probably 20 years with the horses out here. We have a lot of warm bloods now, and especially in the show hunters, the big show hunters, 80% of them are nearly warm bloods, and you'll see the big movement on these horses. And they're
Well, you started this.
Yeah, I had a Clody Cross, not a warm blood.
Well, which was good. It just at the same time, you were I can't say a leader, but the bottom line is I think it changed a little bit after you won.
I don't know. I mean, I was old on a $500 Clody Cross. And,
That's the good story.
How lucky! What a story that was.
That was the good story about it. Let's face facts there. It's an industry or an event where it costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars at times to be a part of, and yet you turn around and hear a good story like that. It's a little bit like going to the sales and buying a yearling for nothing, and like a takeover target. A horse that was, bent kneed, cow-hocked, turned around and beating the best sprinters in the world, and up earning about $6 million in prize money. And no one wanted him. I think the cab driver, Joe Janiak, paid $1,200 for him.
So you can see the difference with this horse. He's got a real swing, and that comes from the warm blood breeding. You see him trotting along, and he's swinging, and his tail's flagging. He's a lovely big horse.
Well, as soon as Danielle finishes, that will be the end of Heat 2. We've had Heat 1 and Heat 2. She's the last rider in Heat 2. And we'll be beginning Heat 3 at the conclusion of this particular workout now.
And for everyone sitting in the stand, don't think this just happened overnight. Some of these horses have been around a long time. They've done the yards, they've been to a lot of ag shows, they've been to a lot of royal shows, and then you'll have other horses that could only be 4 or 5 years old and it's their first season out. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work with whether they're young or they're old. It started 12 months ago, probably, their preparation for this event, and certainly the last 3 days. And these girls, I'm sure, probably would have been up at 2 o'clock this morning working the horses down to make sure they did that foot perfect workout. And so far, I'd say everyone was up at 2 o'clock, Rob, because we haven't had a muck up.
Well, I'm looking at this fellow out here. You can see that there's been a little bit of dressage somewhere along the line here with this couple. He's just got that look about him, hasn't he? And some good support from the crowd as well, too.
Beautiful square halt. Fabulous. She'd be delighted.
His name is Harry. He's a born show-off, loves any attention, and has got a true character that is known to be into anything and everything. It's not unusual for him to be adorned with little kids hanging off his front legs. So those sort of horses you can't buy. You can't put a price on, can you?
No, not the special ones. You only get a special one, I think, once in a lifetime. You asked me last year how many special ones you had, and I'd have to say, one.
Yeah, look, I agree with you.
I've had lots, but
we've had lots, but the trouble is, you still keep searching, trying to replace them. I don't care what anyone says.
And they just melt your heart. They're part of the family, and it's it's like dogs, isn't it? At some stage you have to let them go. And it's so sad when that happens because everyone just loves their animals, loves their horses.
I often say, I often keep saying to people, if you've ever got a problem in life, or if you ever got that stage where you're a little bit down, I always used to head to the stable.
Yep.
I would talk to my horse or horses, whichever they were there. None of them would answer me back, but I'm sure they all listened. Every one of them listened. You'd go in, you'd give them a cuddle, they'd give you a nuzzle back. They can only bite and kick you. They can't talk about you behind your back or anything like that. And I'm thinking, now I know why some of my horses were my best friends, because they'd listen to everything I shared. And I'm glad that they can't talk, because there was a lot of things we spoke about, I can tell you.
So we may well have a little bit of a break here, Rob, because I think we had 5 scratchings in that second heat, so there may be a 10-minute break because these girls are given times to come up for their heats, and I think the next heat starts at 11 o'clock, am I right?
Well, I think we've got 3 riders down there that I can see there with our red coats to move in, so I'm not too sure.
No, they've already ridden.
Oh, they're the girls that have worked, okay.
They're in the second heat.
Okay. So we've just had confirmation that they're holding each heat till the starting time. So you're right, Sarah, you're spot on. 11 a.m. for Heat 3. So for those of you who are sitting there and you're not seeing any action, of course, if you can just wait for another 5 minutes, we'll start to begin. But it's probably time that we catch up with Case down there at the moment, and we'll find and learn a little bit more about Harry.
Well, the first thing that I said to Danielle just before was, good grief, Harry, you're a monster. Have a look at the size of Harry down here. Danielle, crowd favourite so far. I think you've got a wonderful support team behind you out there, or you've paid rent a crowd.
Really good support team. I'm very, very lucky. Everyone who helped me get in the ring and even supporting, it's been really good. I'm going to get emotional now, but thank you all.
I think from the moment you've stepped into the Herald Sun Arena this morning, we have not seen the smile come off of your face yet. You've had a really good time out there.
I have. It's my first year, and I wanted to go out and enjoy it and remember it. It's the first time I'm ever going to do it, so might as well enjoy the ride.
I did have to take 5 minutes there to have a little bit of a chuckle at you before. I don't know whether you did it, but when you got off for our costume section, Harry, of course, being a lovely grey, the first thing you did was brush yourself off and apologise to the judge. Sorry about that.
Yeah, black jackets and white horses really don't mix. As soon as I slide off, I got white hair all over me. I thought, oh no.
Cleaning your gear, getting ready for today's event. We've got a little bit of time, so we can have a bit of a yarn. What hour did you get up? What's the process of cleaning the gear? Were you up doing this last night? Is this done before the Royal? How did you get ready for today?
I've been cleaning the gear for the last 3 weeks. And then yesterday we gave it all a wipe over, and this morning I had fantastic girls from our pony club come and help me. But yeah, it's been a long process. Everything had to be made to measure for him. We couldn't get anything secondhand with him being so big. So yeah, long process to get here.
And the journey to qualify through the shows, through the pony clubs to here, what's been your process so far?
I've been really lucky to have taken this horse from his first show to here. So every show that we've gone to at agricultural level, he's always come home with a nice broad sash, and he's one of those horses that really does try for you. It's a real credit to the breeder. Very, very impressive, and he's just been a really good horse to have.
Well, good luck to you, Danielle. Well, Dad, Sarah, we've had a nice bit of emotion down here from our first year competitors so far, and Harry, well, Harry's a very big boy, so I'm sure he's going to get lots of carrots in his bucket tonight.
Can I just ask Danielle a question through you? Danielle, love the emotion, and I'd like to know, if you can hear what I'm saying up here, I'd like to know what the Garryowen means to you as a competitor. What's special about it?
Yeah, to me, it's all about tradition and, honouring Violet Murrell's legacy. She was a brilliant horsewoman, and, to be able to come out here and ride in her memory, it's a fantastic opportunity for us all.
Well, we wish you good luck. The very best of luck. We've enjoyed talking to you. We've enjoyed watching your workout, and we've loved watching Harry.
Well, I tell you what, there's a little bit of Harry left on me too, so Danielle and I have got something in common now. And Harry's going to do a dance.
For 180 years, Stubbs England have supplied top-quality stable and tack room equipment to stables and horse owners around the world. Stubbs England products are now available online and stocked in Australia. On-trend products like the Saddle Mate and the Retro Bridle Rack are now back in stock. All the 340 Stubbs England products are handmade to the highest standard for the discerning buyer. You can now purchase these online at stubbsengland.com.au.
Since 1885, RDNS has been helping Australians stay active and independent in their own homes. RDNS provides a range of home nursing and support services to help you to live your best life.
They come back to greet us.
Whether you're experiencing illness, injury, or just need help around the home, we are here for you every step of the way.
Yeah, and it feels like home. It feels like home.
RDNS, the nurses who come to you.
And if Casey can just hear me down there for a moment or two instead of ringing home to see how her baby is. this year, for the first time, we have a sponsor. And we just saw a little bit on the screen there about Stubbs of England, great supporters. And they're our premier supporter of the Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout. Their first year as a premier supporter of the Garryowen. And it's a real synergy, of course, between Stubbs England and the Garryowen, with over 80 years of tradition as a prestigious turnout event and a long history and reputation for quality of Stubbs also of England. Case, did you ever think that we would see the Garryowen sponsored and sponsored by a wonderful company such as Stubbs?
Well, look, it's the way of the future now. Unfortunately, with everything nowadays, we love to bring on board our sponsors, and Stubbs are fantastic. In fact, you and I are thinking about getting a stable up and running, and Stubbs have got some wonderful products that would be obviously very handy for us in terms of boxes, feeders, all those sorts of things. So it's great to have such a wonderful sponsor up here with us on board this year with Garryowen.
They've been manufacturing in the UK since 1836, and they are still 100% family owned. So that's an enormous effort itself. I think if you go back through that, something like about 7 generations, Stubbs have been operating since 1836. Every product is handmade to the highest standards in their factory in Nottinghamshire. A very strong theme runs throughout their 180 years in manufacturing, and that's one word: quality. They're horse people. They're passionate about their horses and their welfare. The families involved at the highest levels of competition and judging and actually use the products themselves. This gives them an understanding of what really is necessary to make a product work. Rather than just look pretty, this is central to their company philosophy. They use the highest grade materials with polymers that are more than matched for the Australian sunshine, and that's very, very important. With in-house design and development, they proudly innovate, not imitate. And for this reason, Stubbs England products are now world-renowned. Their equestrian range runs to over 360 products, but it certainly doesn't stop there. And at present, they have as many as 60 products in all stages of development. So if you're looking to start from, not so much from scratch, but starting again like us, I would suggest that you probably look into Stubbs. Jump on the website, Stubbs England Stable and Tack Room Equipment. I'm sure there's something there for you. To Stubbs and all the team, thank you for your support at a Garryowen of 2016. Well, we're about to begin heat number 3. And I think our next competitor out should be 109.3. And that's Sovereign Park Tell All. And our rider here would be Sarah Dempsey.
So as I said before, we're now with the general appearance judge, and she'll be making sure that everything just looks beautiful, like the horse is the right height for the rider, your plaits, your gear, your bridle and your saddle, do the colours match? How the tail's been clipped out, just the overall picture of what to that judge perceives as beautiful.
I'm going to ask you a question here again. The judges that we've got down here, we've got a couple down here, are still very much involved in riding and showing and et cetera, how important it is probably to have these, I won't say younger women, that's not right either, but having these people who are really got their finger on the pulse of what's going on out in our industry compared to perhaps someone that might not be competing any longer. Is that an advantage to you?
I won't say it's an advantage, but I think it's...
From a judging perspective,
wonderful to see judges that, as you say, have their finger on the pulse. They know, things change. Horses have changed in the last 20 years, the type of horse. our jackets, our joddies, and not so much in this event. It's all pretty much
we
the
have
same.
become a fashion industry.
But we are a fashion
really.
industry, certainly. You know, the bling on the girls and the boys, well, girls I suppose, and boys, in the show ring is unbelievable. You know, 30 years ago we had bridles like this. Now you have 25 different brow bands of all different colours, and you know you have red piping on your jackets and bling in the hair, and the little kids are all riding around with bows in their, you know, pigtails. And you know, in the old days we used to stick it in a bit of elastic and a hairnet, and there was no bling. It was navy coats, navy tie, white shirt. Now you can basically have everything.
Well,
I think it's fabulous. What great for the industry, Rob.
Well, I went to get a couple of rugs the other day for one of our colts, and I really liked the rug. I liked the way it was made. I liked the way it operated. And then I looked at the colour of it, and I'm going, I really can't put that on a boy in the paddock.
I know, but it was hot pink with circles on it.
It did have pink in it. There was a fair bit of pink in it, actually.
Yeah, I know, but you don't lose them. At least you can see them, and no one wants to pinch them.
Well,
you don't have to write the phone number on.
That's a point. I never thought of that.
Always buy their horrible rugs, and then you know you're safe. They'll never go missing.
Oh, well, if they can get my rugs off the horses in the paddock, they've done well, because the dog is probably going to chew them before they get outside the gate again.
You know, and all these horses, look at their coats. You know, we haven't, we've had a dreadful winter, as everybody's fully aware, and it's been so cold, so wet, like really hard to prepare an animal in the last 4 or 5 months. But if you look at their coats, they're absolutely beautiful. And all these horses, I think I could say 100% are under lights. So we extend the daylight by putting lights on probably till 11 o'clock at night, and then the lights will come on automatically at probably 4 o'clock in the morning. And that will give a horse a good coat because it's thinking the days are longer.
Actually, we spotted a horse out here the other day, Case and I, who was dappled up, quite sensational. I mean, I'm not sure whether Case can join in this conversation, but it showed us not so much what you're talking about now, Sarah, but it showed us this horse was so good in himself internally. Case, I can't think of the horse. Well, I probably shouldn't say it anyhow, because we might see him out here competing a little bit later on, but I've never seen a horse look so well in himself.
Well, actually, she was a mare, and because I took particular notice to her, but do you think I can remember the name of her now? Unfortunately, I can't. But I did mention that the dapples on her were just outstanding for her colour. She was an amazing-looking animal in terms from the inside out. And as we speak, when horses dapple up, that's only something that really, really comes from a horse that's so very well on the inside. So she looked absolutely amazing. So the dapples, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us and you are not of the equestrian industry, they are. It's almost like black circles on the horses, aren't they? Can we find a horse from up there? Sarah, can you spot one that we can demonstrate?
No, we're not worried about that, Casey. Could you take that pen out of your hand, because it looks like a cigarette and it's a no smoking zone on the showground. That looks terrible.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Or someone give her a black pen, please.
No, she's a non-smoker.
Well, this technically it's your fault, Dad. It's your pen. It's pink.
Oh, only certain men can wear pink, you know that.
And for all the people that don't know Casey, she's actually an extremely successful jockey, and has recently had a little daughter, which is congratulations to Case.
Well, that's
proud
why
mother.
I was going to say that's why Grandpa's carrying around.
And have you
pink
finished
pen.
racing, Case?
Oh, look, I'd have to say, as far as the riding for me is concerned on the racetrack, now that I've got a little girl, unfortunately.
Yeah, hang up your boots.
It's a little bit dangerous, so I'd hate to think that anything, falls do happen in the racing industry. And as you can see, these horses, thoroughbreds are unpredictable, especially when they're racing. So it's good to see them in a different light, being down here in the Garryowen and seeing perhaps a few horses that I've sat on in the past and chucked around the track.
All right, I think what you're saying, Dad, it's leading rain from here on in. All right, let's have a look at our next competitor out here, and it is Sarah Dempsey, I think, Sovereign Park Tell-All, number 1093.
Unfortunately, Rob, we don't have a commentary sheet for Sarah.
Actually, I should know a bit about Sarah myself. We get to know a lot of our riders, and we get to know a lot of our exhibitors over a period of time, because we mix with one another. We see them out here many, many times from various shows, but at this point in time, Sarah, I can't help you. The next lady, or the next competitor, I can talk for about half an hour on her, but I'll allow you to start that in a moment, but we'll go one by one.
I am absolutely. I'm thrilled for these girls. I think every single girl, lady out here has had a fabulous ride. The horses have just been exceptional. Maybe it's this year it's not windy, Rob.
Look, I went down there before for our Pemberton turnout and our KG Luke turnout classes to do our presentations, and there's a smell of freshness in the air, and I think it's because of the rain naturally, but it was just good to be there. And the horses are no different than us, Sarah. I mean, you'll get down there. It's a lovely morning. This morning, you know, you can wake up, you can smell the fresh air. It's just, it's one of those days when you thought, gee, I'm glad I woke up all right this morning. And horses are like us. They'll perform well under the good conditions. And today, though, we've got ideal conditions. It's still no wind. And the last couple of years, we've had wind down here in this arena. And I really feel so sorry for them. It's like an Olympian. You work towards the Olympics every 4 years. And the day that you're about to compete, something goes wrong, or you feel a little bit off colour, whatever the case may be. These girls are exactly the same. They've been working for 12 months towards this particular event, and you get a windy day out there, your horse doesn't like it, and all of a sudden your whole world falls apart.
It's heartbreaking. But, you know, not only just the conditions, you've got to look at the big screen we can see on the left-hand side. You know, years ago we didn't have the big screens, and some of the horses, thank God it's not strategically placed for these horses in the Garryowen, but when they do see it, they go, ah, and you know, they have a fit. And then you look over to the right and we've got the Ferris wheel going. So, you know, it's very, very, very electric. And as I said, these girls aren't riding in nylon breeches, they're in pure wool. There's absolutely no give in these breeches at all, and the boots, they'd be as tight on their legs. So yeah, it's not only just the weather conditions, the costume and all the elements. They do very well. Right.
Well, I did say beforehand that here's a young lady I could speak a lot about for half an hour, in fact, because our next competitor to make their way into the ring is number 1559. The horse is called Stage Presence, and the lady is Rebecca Farrow, who has been competing in this event for some 12 years. She's been competing at the Melbourne show since 1978. She's been around horses, I think, before she got out of nappies herself. She's a marketing manager, Rebecca Farrow from Gruyere. Her horse is a thoroughbred, 9 years of age. Now, you'd know a little bit about this lady also. She is a Garryowen winner, a winner of Australia's top rider of the year as well too. She is a well-known lady around the equestrian world, and a lady who has had a lot of success.
Look, Beck would have to be the most highly credentialed lady rider in the country. She's won at every Royal, the Garryowen Turnout. And she's just a lovely person to go with it, Beck. She's always willing to help you out.
Well, this horse that she's on here at the moment is by one of our former good race horses, who's now at stud in a horse called Testarossa, out of a mare called Rorkeys, which was Aurora's Jester mare. So you look at that and turn around and say, well, she's not going to go in the wet. Not that that worries us here today, but a beautifully bred horse. Pearly is the name around the stables. An incredibly trainable horse. Has got a brain for a thoroughbred. I love the way she says that. Has a brain for a thoroughbred, and is a delight to work with. At just over 17 hands, he is unique for a thoroughbred. Well, here's another giant.
He's huge, and Becca's only had this horse, I think, 18 months, and I know she absolutely adores him because he's not a lot of work. It's probably one of the easier horses she's had in her stable, and I think she's really enjoying showing. And I'm sure her mum, Jan, who's out there in the crowd, she's probably enjoying it as well because you don't have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to lunge on, love.
Well, the other story about this horse here, he's so lucky that he's still with us, and so lucky also for Beck that he's here because I think he had colic at some stage and underwent surgery, and they didn't have to cut much out of the colon at all, but it really got stuck between what we refer to as the kidney and the spleen, and he lost over 100 kilograms, but is now back bigger and better than ever. So it's one of the lovely colic stories, I suppose we might say.
Yeah, there's not too many good ones with colic, and of course, if they do survive, the recovery of it is just so long.
I had a couple of horses at home that used to get colic if I went away. If I went away for 3 or 4 days, and I let my girls at home say, well, can you look after the horses while I'm away? They'd be ringing me up and say, would you get home? Why? We've had to get the vet. Your horse has got colic. They fret.
If I go away for a week, my horses just about throw a party because they don't have
really?
chastised with me on top.
Yeah, I don't. It was quite strange. There was one little stallion. They're both colts actually, but as soon as I'd leave, they'd fret. Maybe I might be the horse whisperer.
Well done, Beck. Fabulous workout. He is enormous, isn't he? Right, Rob, who have we got next?
Maybe if I turn my microphone on, you can hear me. Well, Optimal should be our next competitor out here, which is number 863, and that's Beck Carolyn. So let's find a little bit about Optimal, number 863, about to work out. Well, Rebecca is 23 years of age. She's from a little town called Maffra. She's a property manager. The horse's name is Optimal, as I mentioned before. He's a 12-year-old thoroughbred. She's been competing at the Royal Melbourne Show here for some 3 years, and she's competed in the Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout just once. Now, see how good your memory is, madam. Best first-year competitor in 2014.
Yes.
She's in her eventing world. She's represented Victoria at the Australian Inter-School Championships, which I think are on very shortly again too. Best first year Garryowen in 2014. She was runner-up rider in the SHSCV in 2013. The horse himself, he had about 43 starts for 4 wins and $52,000 in prize money. So here's another one that falls into that category of an off-the-track chance. And as you said before, we get so many more bonuses with an off-the-track horse now. Another $200 jumps in, a little bit of cash to splash if you're lucky enough to win. And Clint Bilson, I think, started this fellow off.
Yeah, Clint did have him up until recently, and he's fabulous. He was very successful. His nickname's Oki. He's a lovely, lovely horse.
So there's a little bit about our competitor out here at the moment, Rebecca Carolyn, 23 years of age, from Maffra. You ready to talk to us down there, little girl, are you?
I think I might be, but thank goodness I've got a go-go gadget stick here because between Harry before and stage presence, I seem to be finding the horses that are relatively tall. And Beck's not short herself, so unfortunately I'm going to have to need this. Beck, competing in the Garryowen a long time, I think it's 12 years. Does it ever get any easier for you?
I love the Garryowen, and having competed in turnouts as a junior and an intermediate, I just find it an event that comes naturally to me. It's something I really enjoy doing.
We see he's such a beautiful type, and Sarah was saying for you he's been a relatively easy thoroughbred. You don't have to work him down or do any of those sorts of things. But when you look for your types, when you go through the stables, what do you look for in terms of getting a horse off the track?
I tend to be attracted very much to big, rangy, leggy thoroughbreds. I really love a horse with a good length of rein and a good shoulder, and clearly a good brain goes a long way.
Any advice for our first-year competitors out there, Beck, coming into an event like today? Do they ever seek your mastery?
I do get asked little bits and pieces, and I certainly get asked whether I get nervous, but I think if the preparation is done all in advance, then just come out and enjoy it. It really is just ride it like it's another event.
Well, good luck to you. Good luck to stage presence. All the best for later on. Back up to you.
Thank you, Beck. I'm not too sure whether you can still hear me down there, but it was interesting to hear Casey says, does everyone ask your advice? The lady in the hat with the microphone will probably be the first in line to have a chat with you at any time you want to. Let's move on. And we're about to meet, I'll tell you a funny story here, you'll enjoy this. Bryony Randall, of course, is from Pakenham. She works in childcare. The horse's name is Entourage. He's a 6-year-old thoroughbred. And Bryony has been coming here for 29 years. In Adelaide the other day, Bryony had received an award for a particular class, and the lady that's, and we're going live to air, remember, and we're going right around the nation and overseas with our live stream as well. And this lady was just being polite, and she handed her the trophy, and she looked up and said, and how old are you? And Bryony looked at me as if to say, you've set me up here, Gaylard. You have set me right up here. And of course, Bryony said, look, I'm 33. Well, it's interesting, Bryony, that you've written the same age down here on your CV sheet too as well, so we know you're not telling fibs. But here's another young lady that's been very much in the show world for a long, long time and has had a lot of success, Sarah.
Oh, Bryony's won lots and lots and lots on, it's many horses, but she's had an absolute great 2 years with this horse, Entourage, who's owned by Warren Coyle, of course. He's Royal Show champion. I think it was Melbourne Show last year, Brisbane, Sydney, Horse of the Years, Nationals, and the horse is only 6. So, what a career he's had already. And Bryony's been there the whole way. And well done to Bryony for educating this beautiful animal.
Interesting thing about this fellow, he was brought to be a show jumper originally. And then I think his first couple of shows, or first 2 seasons, won champion hack at 2 Royals, won the Pope Cup and the Open Hack.
Yeah, and I think Bryony saw him at Brisbane, I believe, and he was shown in hand, and she said, I've got to have that horse. So, yes, I think he was supposed to be a show jumper, but what a waste if he was a show jumper.
Well, you'll see this fellow on all the advertising from Racing Victoria and the VRC, because he's now the face of racing for the Spring Carnival this year, and won the off-the-track overall competition as well too. So he's a bit of a poster boy.
And what a sensational workout. Bryony will be extremely happy with that one. Clearly, listen to the crowd. As I said, it's not just one person and their horse. There's, a lot of help out there. You can see all Bryony's strappers and family and friends down there. Yes, as I can see down there. Well done. Fantastic.
Well, our next competitor is Laura Golding. And Laura's 26 years of age from Bega in New South Wales. She's an administration officer. Her horse is KT Madrid, a 13-year-old warm blood thoroughbred cross. And this is about the 3rd time that Laura has been out here trying to win the Garryowen. She's been placed in the Esquire and Lithgow Turnouts in 2015 and 14, and really has competed successful in all aspects of showing, from answer right through to numerous high point awards. She's won champion rider at various shows. She purchased KT Madrid as a 5-year-old, and over the past years he has competed at Canberra, Adelaide, Hobart, Launceston, Melbourne and Bathurst Royals. So there's a rough idea of the mileage that a lot of our competitors travel, Sarah. I mean, you've got to remember we're searching for a blue ribbon, and we're quite happy to travel all around Australia to get it.
Oh, it's amazing. People, go to Western Australia, Brisbane, everywhere. And then, of course, when we have the Nationals in Melbourne, which you represent your state, and the team comes over, it's amazing. They come from far north Queensland, as I said, Darwin. 3 days to get there, 3 days to get home, and 3 days at the show. It's just incredible the miles people put in. And, of course, Grand Nationals in Sydney. It's countrywide, and some also come from New Zealand.
Well, this fellow's stable name is Cooper, and according to his owner, is one of a kind and certainly gives his best every time. They've formed a great partnership together as Laura and KT Madrid. So here's a prize example of what you were talking about before, Sarah, about your horse being your best friend. All these girls out here today, they're best friends. I don't think they've got men in their lives, but they've got horses.
Can't afford men when you've got horses. Look, most of these girls probably own their horse. I can see there's a few girls here that have got what we call a, not so much a catch ride, but it's not their horse, and they've probably only sat on it yesterday or the day before. So that's difficult, but we'll hand over to Case.
All right, well, she's got a familiar face, and at 33 years of age, as we learnt in Adelaide, she's now got Bryony Randall with her.
Oh, now, Bryony, you probably couldn't have heard Dad out there because you were in the midst of conversation, but he did give away your age, but that's not too bad. You're still younger than me, so I'll give you that one. Now, listen, it's the very first time, I think, in the showing world that I've seen you breathe such a sigh of relief when you came out of the ring. How'd that feel?
That was amazing. Just love this horse. He tried so hard considering in this hard turnout gear. He just gave me the best ride. I couldn't have asked for him to be any better. So.
A little bit of an explanation to our turnout gear. It's not the most pliable for any riders. Does it make it difficult in terms of position when you're out there with your horse?
Yeah, it does. But actually, as soon as I trotted through the gate, I sort of forgot about it and just was like, no, I've just got to ride to win, and just sort of forgot about the pain for a bit. And yeah, I think.
As Dad mentioned, he's the poster boy for Racing Victoria. He's come off the track. He's having a great career, this bloke.
Yeah, he's just exceeded any of our expectations. I knew he was going to be a star, but what he's managed to do in such a short time is just incredible.
Well, can that elusive Garryowen go to his credentials? We'll see. Best of luck to you, Bryony, and to all the team involved. She's got a strong team behind her as opposed to the cheers that she got when she came out of the ring.
Yes, he's come a long way in a short time, Case, and he certainly is a lovely boy. All right, let's turn our attention to our next competitor out here is Jordan Skyring. Jordan comes from Park Ridge, South Queensland, so she's come a long way. 20 years of age. She's an emergency nurse. The horse's name here is DP Polo.
DP Polo was champion hack at the recent Adelaide show.
You're right.
Just
you're right.
stalling on board.
You're right. You did right.
Yeah. And I was lucky enough to see this horse when he was bought by Chris about 3 or 4 years ago, and I think I was at Berrigan show, and Chris was just leading him around and just had a ride, obviously not competing, it was just his first day out, and I said, oh my God, what is that horse you've got there, Chris? And this is him. So I was one of the first to see him. He was just beautiful.
Well, this is her second time in the Garryowen, and has been competing at the Royal Melbourne show since she's 12 years of age, and DP Polo and Jordan Skyring have become a pretty good unit together. It's interesting you talk about only having one horse in your life or having one champion in your life. This young lady has been lucky enough to, she says, to own 2 great horses whom have taken her to the top. Rathowan, McNamara and DP Polo. Raced in New Zealand and Australia until Dale Plum spotted him at the races, as many of us do. We spend a lot of our time looking over the mounting yard rail to find out if we could get a horse that doesn't run very well, but we think he might make the grade as a show horse. But 9 times out of 10, when you look at them over the rail and think, oh, okay, look, he doesn't look a bad type, or she doesn't look a bad type, I hope she can run last. They'll end up running a place, and then all of a sudden you're waiting another 12 months or another 2 years before you actually get that horse into your stable.
Another fabulous workout. I'm sure Jordan will be absolutely delighted with that. And our next competitor, Rob, is also a Miss Universe
Yes,
finalist.
I know a little bit about this young lady, and I know even more about the horse. The lady we're talking about is Rose McAvoy, and I know her and Casey were having a bit of a heart-to-heart down there at Lawn. I think it was the Peter Pub. I think they were down there having a bit of a chat one particular night. And Rose said to her, I've got a horse for you, Case. She said, oh, yes. But unfortunately, some good friends of mine came along and said, look, we would like that horse too as well. And it's going to take young Hannah Buffton, I'm sure, on a wonderful journey as she progresses through her riding. Rose, though, is 22 years of age. She comes from Strathmore. She's a student. The horse is Towering Inferno. The interesting thing about this fellow, the sire is Carbine. And when you turn around and think, Carbine, no, it can't be. But Carbine was a warm blood. And the dam was Inferno, so it's beautifully named. So it's a warm blood over a thoroughbred, and she's been coming here for some 13 years. All the McAvoy girls are very, very good in the saddle, and they're great horsewomen as well too. So Towering Inferno, he's been a wonderful horse for riding competitions. He's just got that armchair look about him, you know. It's a horse that you'd love to throw your leg over and just say, look, I'd like to just go for a ride.
He's been a fabulous horse with the McAvoys, but I do believe he has been sold, and he's now in new hands down in on the peninsula. Yeah, look, and Rose, how's this? She was 3rd runner-up in Miss Universe Australia 2 weeks ago. Absolutely fantastic effort. And she also has quite a famous boyfriend.
Yeah, and you can't think of his name, can you?
Yeah, I can. He's a swimmer, Olympic swimmer.
Yeah, okay.
James Magnuson.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. And
Rose's
father is also the physio to the Australian swim team, so he's just been in Rio for several weeks.
Well, of
But,
course.
they'll be sitting down there as proud as punch. I don't know where Miss Jane is. But all the family will be down there, and as I said, Rose is having the ride of her life here. It's terrific.
Well, they won with Perry here at Equestrienne, and that's the biggest thrill that she reckons she's had with him. But you're right, the Buftons from at Anarchy have now purchased this fellow, and young Hannah, who's going through her transitions, let's say, from being a little girl on a pony to quite a tall girl now, and this fellow really suits her. So he's now got a lovely home that they're at Anarchy. And we've seen, in fact, I reckon yesterday it might have been, I think got champion Charles Hack with Hannah in the saddle. And I think she was placed in a riding class as well too. So he's a lovely mount for dressage and riding classes, this young Perry. I say young Perry, well he's actually 11 years of age, but he's been a wonderful horse, not only to the McAvoys, but now with good luck to Hannah and Susan and all the team there at home at Anarchy. Well, just one or two fans in the crowd there, Sarah.
Very popular. The McAvoys are an extremely popular family. They're always ready to help you at any time. They're just terrific people. All right, next, Rob.
Well, our next competitor we are struggling to get a little bit of info on, apart from knowing who she is. It should be India Mitchell, number 1670. We have got quite a few scratchings this morning. India's certainly not one of them. Rawwood Centre Stage is the horse, number 1670. So we might sit back and watch, and I'm almost certain that a lady down there in a pink hat will want to be talking to the lady on the black horse in just a moment.
Yeah, this little horse down here is by a prolific pony sire. God, I've lost my train of thought. Boy Soprano. There's lots of them. And this Rawwood Centre Stage has won lots and lots and lots of champions. He's been to nationals, grand nationals, India as well with riding competitions. She's currently at university. I'm not quite sure what she's studying, but I know she's full on into that and working. But this little pony, he's a fabulous horse for Indy.
Well, I don't think I was far out in my summation before. I think that's the right word I should use, that I think Case would like to be talking to this young lady. And stop patting that horse with affection. Casey, too, please.
Look, I can't help but pat this bloke because he's always been over the years whilst I've been watching the hack classes, Garryowen, the horse that if I had the opportunity to ride, I'd love to ride him. Rose, is he as smooth as he looks?
Oh, absolutely. There's absolutely no horse like him. I've certainly had my fair share of beautiful horses, but no one compares to Perry.
Obviously, he's been sold off now, new family, but you get right behind them. I saw you out there before in the Garryowen High Tea earlier during the week, supporting the Buftons and the family now with everything that they do with him and sharing a few tips. How's it feel watching him with the new family?
I think obviously everyone loves to have their horses go as well for themselves as they possibly can. But in my opinion, the only thing that's better than that is seeing, you know, your treasure go on and do just as well, if not better, with someone else.
Now, to say your mum, dad and family aren't proud of you, I did hear Dad over there. I can see him waving, go, when you came out of the ring, that's my girl, that's my Miss Universe. You've taken a little bit of a different journey now, and it's an exciting one at that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something a bit different.
I think that actually, in a lot of ways, the horse prepared me for all that sort of thing very well. A lot of discipline and time put into it that obviously, you know, with horses you just have to do. It is a different term, but I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes.
Well, we look forward to that journey as well. Thanks very much, Rose.
Thanks, Case. Thank you, Rose. What a quality young lady. What a great ambassador for our equine world, this young Rose McAvoy. And Rose, whatever journey your life takes, we wish you the very, very best of luck as well too. And as you said, and you were looking from a female's point of view, she didn't have a bad bloke, but she was. Oh my goodness! Someone just brought up a huge plate of donuts.
Jam donuts in front of us.
Yeah, Rose, you are certainly a credit to our industry. Well done, congratulations. And I'll make sure that horse gets looked after. As you probably know full well, it's only around the corner, and I'll keep an eye on him for the rest of his life. All right, our next competitor, Catherine Neal. Catherine's 32 years of age from Gisborne. An international flight attendant with Qantas. Oh, how's your frequent flyer points going there, Sarah? SLM Mercedes. She's a 12-year-old thoroughbred. Do not eat all those together. Dressage and horse racing, the discipline she's been involved in. She's handing my donuts. She's giving my donuts away to everyone else.
Rob, you had a heart attack last year. I'm just looking after you.
Well, I fell off a push bike. You see, I didn't fall off a horse. She's been a champion lady rider at Canberra, Barristock, Vasa. A very, very competent young girl. Fell in love with Darcy. Interesting to see how all these horses have got one name, yet they've got a stable name. Saw him at a Bellarine agricultural show when Sarah O'Connor brought him out in his first season. Followed his progress over the years. I ran into a girl the other day, talking about following a horse over the years. I ran into a girl the other day, she said, I saw this horse and I've waited 6 years to get him. And I'm thinking, after 6 years, you'd nearly give up. But she's followed him all around Australia, kept an eye on where he went, what stables he was in and out of, finally got him, and she's having a ball with him. But 6 years, that's a long wait, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people chase horses. They do. They go around the race courses day in, day out. They'll have little spies looking everywhere, and they'll chase the trainer down until they get it.
Well, this horse was placed 6th in the Garryowen in 2013, and last year took Sammy McMaster to win the first-year competitor award. So a good ride. Here's SLM Mercedes. Well, our next competitor to grace us in the workout area will be Melissa Gillies. Melissa is from Sydney. She's a barrister, and the horse is, beyond reasonable doubt, a warm blood. And she's been involved with horses since her mid-30s. And she's probably a little bit older than her 30s, if I can say that. She's been twice competing here at the Royal Melbourne Show, and I think has twice been to the Garryowen too. She enjoys dressage, showing, and more recently show jumping at a very moderate height. She does state that, though. So she's had wins at Sydney and won at Royal Shows, but her greatest success was deciding 6 years ago to show horses. Loves it. Bundy is this fellow's name. He's known around the stables. He's been with her for some 12 months. Come to her via her coach prior to showing. He was a medium dressage horse. Bundy was bred by Mary Hannah before being sold to her. Well, Mary, of course, is the young lady from Geelong who went across to represent Australia in the dressage at the Rio Olympics. And I reckon that was Mary's 4th Olympics.
No, more than that. I think it was the 6th or 7th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 6. I think Mary might have equalled Andrew Hoy's record.
Really?
6 Olympics, pretty amazing, isn't it? I think, if I remember rightly, this horse in the dressage world was called Rum and Coke, and I think that's why his nickname's Bundy. And I don't know how old he is now, but I'm pretty sure he won the 4-year-old dressage championships at the dressage festival when Roger Fitzharding had him. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty much on the money.
Well, as our competitors leave, what goes through your mind now, Sarah, with respect to our workout here at the moment? What goes through your mind now? You've left the arena.
Fuel.
You've still got to wait.
Fuel. It's done. I can't do any more.
Well,
Let's go down.
You can't, but what do you do with
And
yourself?
the ones that have done really well, and look, everyone's still nervous, but if you know you've just nailed your workout and you know everything else is right, you're thinking, right, I've had a red hot crack. Let's wait for the score. So, yeah, don't worry, the nerves will be gone, but there's a few out there and there's been some fabulous workouts. So it will be extremely interesting. Yeah, last year's lineup of the top 6 was unbelievable. Rob, you could have put a piece of paper between any of them. They were fabulous. But this year it is so different because there's not, I hope I don't moz anyone, but no one has messed up the workout. So the points, of course, for manners and paces are going to be high. And if you have a horse that works, then, of course, your riding will also, your marks will be good. You know, if a horse plays up, you're not going to get good marks for the riding ability. So really, I mean, this is exceptional. The 6 or 7 years I've been watching it, I've never seen horses work so well.
One other question without notice again, I'm going to ask you, in relation to a workout, when are you given that workout?
They were given the workout probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So they've had plenty of time
it's
to...
posted to
yep.
them, yep. But plenty of time to learn it. This is actually a really long workout this year. I think there's 2 extensions through the middle. And probably a lot of trot work, not so much canter work, as in days gone by.
Well, Melissa Gillies finishes her workout. And she now goes across to Mr. Peter Stafford.
I'm sure Helen Chugg will be very happy with that. Helen Chugg, show jumper extraordinaire. She is Melissa's right-hand mate. So she's helped to prepare the horse. And I also know Melissa's husband's here watching. So well done. I'm sure she'll be extremely happy with that.
Now, the horse coming into the arena here is a horse we know a fair bit about. The rider's name is Michelle Painter. In fact, I can't play it, but I'd like to. It's Michelle's birthday today from Tangel South, so I might play happy birthday for you a little bit later on once the Garryowen's over, Michelle. But let's hope that this can cap off a wonderful day for you. Wouldn't it be nice to win the Garryowen on your 40th birthday? She's a legal secretary. DP Amazing is the horse we're talking about. Of course, has been around for, I won't say a long time, but he's been a successful horse for many people over a period of time. 13 years of age, he's a thoroughbred. And she's been competing here at Melbourne Show roughly since she was 3-year-old. So she's been competing here since she was about, let me have a look here, since she's 3-year-old. So she's been here about 35, 36 years. Second time Garryowen competitor.
Michelle's extremely lucky. She's actually been lent this horse by Heidi Pickstock and Dale Plum, and Heidi's a 5-time place getter in the Garryowen and decided this year that she wasn't going to do it, and so Michelle's been lucky enough to get the ride on him. This horse would probably be, or is, the most credentialed horse in the country as a hack. He's won multi-national championships, Grand Nationals, Royal Show. I think this horse actually went for 4 years in a row, never been beaten. So you're looking at history out in front of you, and you know, what a name, DP Amazing, which he truly is.
I'll tell you a little bit about his CV, this fellow, because I've had the privilege of watching him on many of these occasions. He's 5 times Royal Show champion hack. He's been 3 times Grand National hack, and he's been 7 times Pope Cup Awards. Won the EA National Hack of the Year. And this is the first time that they've been together as in a competition together, these pair here at the moment. So the horse has been a wonderful chair for a lot of people over a period of time. But as you said before, so successful in the show world, and would have to rate as probably one of our most successful show horses on a continuous basis for a long time.
You know, sitting in the grandstand when you're support staff, I think they're actually probably more nervous than the actual riders. It's incredibly electric down there. You know, there's a lot of people helped out. I can see the hairdresser to the stars, Paul Werhurst, down there. He's year in, year out. He does all the girls' hair. He brings the nets, he brings the pins, he brings the spray. He does everything. He's absolutely fabulous. And this year he even did all the junior girls, but Paul is a little bit partial to vertically go, so don't worry about the money, just give him the bottle. Caro Wagner is fabulous. She's tied stocks all morning, has done for years. Howard Ward was tying stocks today, I believe. And just Shay Hanger, a 3-time winner, she was down there tying stocks and helping everyone. And look, literally, everyone helps everyone. It's fantastic.
Well, our next competitor to come and join us at the scratching of On Far and Laura Thomas, which we've just been given. So this should be number 1440. Larundel Geisha is the horse. Caitlin Hilm, or Holm, I think it's pronounced. So Caitlin, she's a sales administrator, 28 years of age. And she is another one of the first years, just having a look here at my notes. First became involved with horses when she was 6. This fellow here, Larundel Geisha, is 14 years of age, an Australian warm blood. And she lives at Seville. She enjoys showing, dressage, eventing and show jumping. She was runner-up saddle horse champion at the 2014 Summer Royal Horse Show, champion saddle horse at Bunyabag Show, and was 4th in the Lady Rider at Melbourne Royal in 2014. She was working at a dressage stable. This is an interesting story here. Worked this horse occasionally and formed a lovely bond. At the time, her owner was offered a job overseas and asked if I would take her on, and we've been a partnership ever since. So it's a matter of being Johnny on the spot. Right time, right place. We're all looking for a good horse somewhere, and she just happened to be there at that time. All right, young lady, who have you got down there for us?
All right, well, I love talking to Melissa Gillies. She gives a great interview every time because I always like the way that she puts it. When I spoke to her over in Adelaide Royal, she said, these turnout classes, I'm doing them now, I'm going through a midlife crisis. You really do enjoy them, don't you?
I do. I love all the spectacle of it. I love seeing everybody looking so beautiful. I love the effort that everybody goes to, and I'm so enormously grateful that I have people that will help me do it all around it. And perversely, although I do not know how, they seem to get a lot of joy out of it as well.
Just having a little chit-chat before when Dad and Sarah were introducing the other competitors that are out there, but she said you love the dress-up side of the turnout classes. You love feeling like a doll every time you get out there with your horse.
It's big girl Barbie. We get to dress up ourselves, we get to dress up with the horses, we get the, the float and the car. We really are the Barbie set.
In terms of getting ready today, we heard Sarah just speaking about the stocks, getting them tied. Carolyn Wagner comes and helps a lot of the people. How did you do that this morning? Was that your effort, or did you get someone to help you put the stock on?
I'm very grateful. Carolyn Wagner came and dressed me and also showed me the shortcomings of my own preparation, which I thought was perfect. She's always there to tell me that I need to iron my stock a little better. So she's quality assurance as well as the dresser. Pete Wagner came and put the saddlery on the horse too, for which I'm enormously grateful. Helen Chugg, my coach, turned the horse out. My husband was the gopher and ran around, and again, my one and only job was to stand there and keep clean, and I've almost done it.
And I hear the hardest part of any Garryowen turnout is getting these boots off. Would that be true?
No, not for me. I've been very good with the talcum powder after the chalk explosion that I told you about at Adelaide. So the boots are getting easier and easier. What is getting more and more frightening is trying to get the turnout jods on every year. So.
All right, back up to you guys.
Well, actually, I think this lady told me at Adelaide that she's now trying to do things she couldn't do when she was a youngster. So she's taken herself on a lovely journey at the moment. Well, competitor number 588 is Jemima Draper, Heavenly Park First Night. Is the name of the horse. He's a 5-year-old, an Arabian warm blood. And this is her 6th year in the Garryowen in search of trying to win that prestigious award. She's been competing here at Melbourne Show for many years, some 12. She's a podiatrist from Rochester at 24 years of age. She was 5th here in 2012, riding horse called the horse Bailey Millions. It's funny how a lot of these horses, their names come back to you in the Garryowen. She's been a very, very good rider and hunter over a period of time. Probably some of her best show successes. She was champion rider at the Vic State title. She was champion hunter at Melbourne Summer Royal. Champion rider at the Royals as well too. This fella, he's known as Merlin, owned by a dear friend of hers in Donna White. Led Arabian Warm Blood champion in 2015. Was some of the great success that Merlin's had. He's been a very successful lead horse, commenced his saddle career, and then was 2nd in the Over 100 Adelaide Royal in 2016. Merlin loves champagne and olives. Whoops. Sorry, I think that might be the rider. Thanks to Donna for the ride. Thanks to Mum for putting up with my crazy. And thanks, Rob, for the commentary. Oh, I love this lady. Well, congratulations, Jemima. Let's hope that you have great success here today as well.
Now, as you'll see with this horse, he's got a plaited tail, and most of the show hunters that are going around have the traditional plaited tail, whereas your thoroughbreds and your open hacks will have the pulled tail. So to put the good braid in the tail is you need someone that's spot on, and because not many people plait tails anymore, so it's very hard to get the good platter. They're of a premium.
Well, I can give you some advice there. Don't marry a hairdresser thinking that you're going to get your horses plaited up. I did it and she's never plaited one. I fancy myself as a bit of a platter, actually, Sarah. I used to be the one that used to all do our horses at home. None of the girls would ever have a crack at it at all. Well done, Jemima. Another good workout. Well, once again, we welcome one of our first-year riders into the Garryowen here. And you know what's going to be interesting for me to show and tell you here, Sarah Love, and to all our friends out there that are watching and listening?
She's the same age as me.
Oh no.
I know I look 12.
She's only a chicken. Well, I just thought that was a wonderful, wonderful story. Jennifer Trong is 53 years of age and she's having a crack at the Garryowen for the very, very first time. She's from Murray Bateman in New South Wales. Her occupation, University of Canberra, professional staff. The horse, of course, is Academy of Arts. He's a thoroughbred, 16 years of age. And we wish her well. What a great story. 53 years of age, and I'm going in to have a crack at the highest level that I can try and win.
Rob, this is the beauty of the sport. You know, whether it's show jumping, hacking, dressage, age, there is no limit. You can, you know, we're not like swimmers and, you know, and athletes and you're done by the time you're 28. You know, we all just keep going. There's plenty of people who are still riding in the dressage ring that are, you know, very close to 80, if not more. And it's the love of the horse and the will that just keeps you going.
Well, I made a statement the other night at a function I was speaking at and talking about, of course, the inevitable thing came up about the horse industry and what's going on in that horse industry at the moment with various problems. And I was trying to sort of deflect away from that because I hate talking about the negatives of life. And I said, you know, when you look back at what we just watched at Rio, and we had an enormous amount of interest from Aussies over there of what we did at Rio, because I think we performed exceptionally well. In fact, I think we performed probably a little better than we expected because we had some very young horses over there. But the equestrian world is the only sport that I can think of, and I stand corrected, where both men, and apart from the racing industry, but I'll say equestrian world, where both men and women can compete on equal footing. And it's the only sport over there where you compete for a gold medal against a woman, if you're a male, and Vicky Verka. So, it's interesting when we look at my young girl down here who used to ride against the men in races. And then we look at the same thing out here, show jumping, equestrian world. We mix it with the boys as far as the girls are concerned, and there was no quarter given.
Yeah, the poor fellas miss out a bit with the turnouts. We don't have a male turnout here at Melbourne. I don't know if we used to. They used to have one in Sydney, the men's turnout, but we used to call it the Garryowen. It was very highly contested. I can see a past winner, as I said, the hairdresser to the stars, Paul Werhurst, won the last Garryowen, I believe. But and then they axed it. So no, the boys don't get a go.
Did he get a sash? What did he get for winning?
He got a sash, but he didn't get any money. He's still gutted over it. Yeah, so I don't know whether the blokes, they love getting dressed up and doing turnouts. So it's a little bit.
You obviously go to the same parties I go to. Well, Jennifer, well done, and we wish you all the best of luck at 53 years of age in the Garryowen for the very, very first time. Well, we're starting to get down to the business end. We've only got a couple to go, and our rider that we are looking at here at the moment is Stephanie O'Connor, 23 years of age, a student from Seaforth. Her horse's name is Supreme. He's a 9-year-old thoroughbred, and she's competed at Royal Melbourne on one occasion, and she's also been in the Garryowen on one occasion. Let me find a little bit about her show history. She was placed at Sydney Royal in the Turnout in 2016, the Brisbane Royal Turnout in 2016. She was Champion Rider of the Year in 2014, and also had Horse of the Year as well too. So she's a young lady that's been very much surrounded by success in the horse world. Champion Charles Hacks, Champion Large Hack, Brisbane Royals. And I was just having a look down here. She's graduated from Macquarie University in 2016 with a Bachelor of Commerce and a Bachelor of Arts. So she's a very capable young lady, is Stephanie O'Connor, at 23 years of age, who's out here trying to etch her name into the history books of the Garryowen. The wonderful story I think we're all very much aware of Garryowen and Violet Murrell. The horse was so tragically lost in a stable fire down at Mentone. The Murrells, of course, a great racing family for many, many years. And I think we look back through the history, and young Shay Hanger, who's is not with us this year, who is a 3-time winner of the award, was the niece or the grandniece of Violet Murrell. We talk about traditions and we talk about history of various events that we have here at the Royal Melbourne Show. Well, that was a day I think we all shed a tear down there when Shay ended up winning her first Garryowen. Now she's won, of course, 3 of them. Time for us to go down trackside again. Or trackside, here we are. I'm forgetting where I am. Let's go down to our arena in his case.
Well, as the crowd cheers for Stephanie, I've got Jennifer here with me. Jennifer, the last of our first-year competitors to come out, that must have felt pretty good. You had a big smile on your face when you left the arena.
I did. The Garryowen has always been a dream. Like, when you're a pony club, 14-year-old, it's always one day I'm going to be in the Garryowen. So this year I'm in the Garryowen, and it's off the back of my sister getting cancer this year. So life's too short. You should just grab the moment and go for it. So I did.
Tell us about your journey getting this bloke here. Where have you come from, and pony club wise up to now? We speak about all things when we talk Mary Hannah with her age, and Sarah and Dad said that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can compete in these sorts of things. Your journey to get to here so far this year?
Well, my dad used to train racehorses, and I used to do a bit of pony club, but about 16 years old I stopped. I had my family, I did my work responsibilities, and it was only about 10 years ago I got back on a horse, green rider, brought my boy off the track, green horse, and he has just been a godsend. My dad passed away a couple of years before I bought him, and I got him sight unseen, so I call him my dad's gift.
Can we call you and your dad's gift out here again next year, trying again?
I hope so. It's been a fantastic experience, and I really appreciate everything Melbourne's done for us. It's lovely.
Well, best of luck to you, Jennifer, too.
All right, thank you, Case. What another great story. We are finding some wonderful stories out there today and sharing that with us. We appreciate that, Steph. So let's have a look at our last competitor in the arena here. And it's quite ironic that we have this lady as our last competitor, because she's probably a lady with all the experience in the world for an event like this. Her name is Fiona McIntyre. We talk about poster boys. The horse here is Sermione. He's a thoroughbred. Of course, Fiona's from Inverleigh. She's been competing here for 30 plus years, and she's been in the Garryowen on 14 occasions. Of course, she's known through the dressage, show jumping, hunting and novelties and endurance racing. She was the 2016 Grand National Saddle Horse Championship top 10 rider, 2016 Royal Adelaide Reserve Champion Equestrienne. And Sermione, sit back and have a listen to this. And I know this horse inside out and back to front. Came from the great Bart Cummings stable. He was the winner of the Australian Cup on the McKinnon Stakes. He won just shy of $2 million in prize money. Reg Fleming, Bart Cummings' foreman, maintains an interest in Sermione as well too. And I dare say Reg would be sitting out there somewhere today with a chest stuck out very, very proudly of this fellow too. He's another one of our poster boys, Sermione, when we're talking about horses from off the track. He was second in the Gents Hack in Royal Adelaide this year, and he was third in the Novice Hack at Royal Melbourne last year, I think. He's probably the only Group 1 winning racehorse to become a show horse and a Garryowen mount. Sermione, an amazing horse to do anything with.
What was his racing name, Rob?
Sermione.
Yeah.
So she's kept the same name.
Can you remember him?
Oh, can I ever? Can I ever? In fact, I don't know. I wouldn't put Case under the hammer, but I don't know whether she ever rode him, because she used to do a little bit of work for Bart. I know she rode...
Can you remember, Case?
I used to ride A Wonderful World and a few of those horses like that for Bart. So only in the times when I was there, I worked for Bart for a very short period of time. Quite a funny story.
What was the good horse you rode?
Wonderful World?
No, in Bart's colours. There's a photo at home with you.
Saintly.
Saintly, yes, the horse from heaven.
The horse from heaven, yes. I was very lucky to be given the opportunity once to lead the Melbourne Cup into the mounting yard, and I had the privilege of riding Saintly, and Bart could never remember my name. He used to call me the little blonde girl, so I used to have fun with him referencing me as the little blonde girl every year. And I think Reg, if he's in the grandstand, always used to have to say, Bart, that's Casey. So look, I've had a lot of experience, and it's a great joy for me to watch a horse that's been so astounding on the racetrack and to see him have a wonderful future out here.
Well, Sermione, he's done the rider proud again today. So Fiona, congratulations, good luck. All the hard work's all but over. Now it all is up to those down there with the sharp pens and the calculators to add up all the points, and we'll be back downstairs in a few moments' time, of course, to share with you another great moment of our Royal Melbourne show. Thanks to our supporters, Stubbs, of course, our England stable and tack room equipment, and as you heard me say beforehand, they are horse people, passionate about horses and their welfare. And of course, the family themselves have been involved at the highest levels of competition and judging, and actually use the products themselves. And this gives them an understanding of what is necessary to make the product work. Their equestrian range runs over some 360 products, but it certainly doesn't stop there. At present, they have as many as 60 products in all stages of development at the moment as well too. So we thank them for supporting us here today, and of course, if you're trying to purchase Stubbs products direct from the UK for many years, or Australians have been, but 12 months ago, H. Leffler & Son partnered with Stubbs England to put stock on the ground here, making them easily accessible via the Australian web store of stubbsengland.com.au. So Lefflers are enormously proud to have been chosen to distribute the Australian market from their warehouse in West Melbourne, through saddlery shops and directly online through their website at stubbsengland.com.au. We'd love you to be able to support those who support us. As our riders leave the arena for a moment or two, and then we'll welcome back all the field, and we'll look forward to presenting our top riders to you all, and one lucky lady is going to be put into the history books as the new Garryowen winner of 2016 here at the Royal Melbourne Show.
For 180 years, Stubbs England have supplied top quality stable and tack room equipment to stables and horse owners around the world. Stubbs England products are now available online and stocked in Australia. On-trend products like the Saddle Mate and the Retro Bridle Rack are now back in stock. All the 340 Stubbs England products are handmade to the highest standard for the discerning buyer. You can now purchase these online at stubbsengland.com.au.
What was that?
It was great. We loved it.
Beautiful for the family to watch together.
It was fantastic.
Disney's Pete's Dragon.
Cirque du Soleil's Coosa, under the big top at Flemington Racecourse. Book now.
Good on you, Mom. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mom. Good on you, Mom. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mom.
Well, fellas, we all having fun? It's my turn to get the oranges. Look at Willie's half-time oranges. They're so juicy, their hands get stickier. Your ball skills get better. Go Bears! See what I mean?
Juicy Australian-grown half-time oranges.
That's why I pick Woolies.
I think it's a million amazing moments, you know, tucking her into bed at night.
To see them start to smile again and interact with others and be happy and giggle.
I don't give them as much as they give me.
Being there for each other and loving each other.
We know we're making a difference, and that's always just a great feeling that we get for doing it.
Anyone can do it.
You can change these kids' lives.
Professionals will make your home star using new media, new tools and new systems to reach more buyers. For your free online property price check and market appraisal, visit professionals.com.au.
Wow, I've lost another 3 kilos.
Doctor? Doctor? If diet and exercise aren't enough, get your doctor on your side. Ask your doctor about clinically proven ways to help you lose weight.
Go with it in the Honda CR-V Series 2 from $27,990.
Handcrafted. Real ingredients. The pride of artisanal quality. Bertocchi since 1972.
Make it a stellar Sunday. Every week in the Sunday Herald Sun.
It's great when people tell you they feel safer when they see PSOs on the platform. It's all the small things that you do every day that makes the PSO role a rewarding one. The work-life balance in this job is good for me because it gives you a lot of time to do other things like study, catch up with friends, do whatever you want. The academy training is challenging, but it provided me with the skill and confidence to do the job.
Wow, I've lost another 3 kilos.
Doctor, if diet and exercise aren't enough, get your doctor on your side.
Cirque du Soleil's Cruiser, Under the Big Top at Flemington Racecourse. Book now.
When was the last time you did something you couldn't? When was the last time you shocked everyone and helped change the world too? Oxfam Trail Walker. Register at trailwalker.oxfam.org.au.
At JG King, we throw everything at our steel frames so our homes stand up to whatever life throws at you. With $30,000 of value included at no extra cost, there's never been a better time to step up to steel. JG King.
Good on you, Mom. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mom. Good on you, Mom. Tip-top's the one. Good on you, Mom. I want a Sunday kind of love, and I'd like to know it's more than love at first sight. I want a Sunday kind of love.
The return of the affordable Sunday roast.
That's why I pick Woolies.
The Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria has inspired excellence in Victorian agriculture for more than 165 years. RASV ultimately aims to improve the quality of and increase the demand for Victorian agricultural produce. As an RASV member, you can support the development of Victorian agriculture whilst receiving a host of exclusive member privileges. RASV members are entitled to a range of benefits, including complimentary admission to all 11 days of the Royal Melbourne Show, access to members-only hospitality areas, and exclusive discounts and special offers. To find out more about becoming a member of the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria, visit rasv.com.au.
Since 1885, RDNS has been helping Australians stay active and independent in their own homes. RDNS provides a range of home nursing and support services to help you to live your best life.
They come back to greet us.
Whether you're experiencing illness, injury, or just need help around the home, we are here for you every step of the way.
Yeah, and it feels like home. It feels like home.
RDNS, the nurses who come to you.
On a farm full of surprises, he's the sheep who's ahead of the flock. The one and only Sean the Sheep. He might be little, but don't let that fool you. He's cool, courageous, and incredibly crafty. Climb to the top of the heap with Sean the Sheep, A Prickly Problem. Now available on DVD.
When was the last time you did something you couldn't? When was the last time you shocked everyone and helped change the world too? Oxfam Trail Walker. Register at trailwalker.oxfam.org.au.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
I love Daryl Lee.
We love Daryl Lee.
We love Daryl Lee.
We love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee. We love Daryl Lee.
Daryl Lee, loved by Australians since 1927.
Good on you, Mum. Tip top's the one. Good on you, Mum. Good on you, Mum. Tip top's the one. Good on you, Mum.
Peter Hitchener has been delivering your news for 43 years.
Every day,
leading Melbourne's most experienced team.
the Hawks aren't
The team you know. The team you turn to. The team you trust. When news breaks, Melbourne turns to 9 News. Always there, always on. Experience is why you see it first on 9 News.
Well, very good afternoon to you all. While we're setting up for our presentation, I thought it might have been an opportune time to catch up with a few of our judges and just find out a little bit of their thoughts so far on this year's Garryowen. And Peter Stafford joins me at the moment, who has got a long history in the world of horses, and I'd say that probably from a wide perspective, Pete, because we go back to Melbourne Cups, we go back to your role as working with Racing Victoria to the VRC, and here we are today judging a Garryowen.
Yes, thoroughbreds again in a different field, in the equestrian area. But it's very pleasing to see these horses looking so well early in the season. We've come out of a very wet and cold winter, and the horses presented today in the Garryowen were first class, and a lot of hard work by their owners, and to get them up and looking so well in condition and in the coat, and well done to everyone.
Look, we look at a lot of our thoroughbreds over a period of time, Pete, and we can see them as being a hot animal. And today, I couldn't fault too many of the workouts. I thought the workouts were good. I thought the conditions out here were good. We had no wind, and I think every rider got their chance to really try and excel and do the best that they could. And it was interesting to see when they came back to you. When you're judging conformation, what are you looking for?
Well, I like a tidy horse. Of course, it's difficult if horses are a little turned in, or flick a foot or a leg long in the back. Everybody wants the perfect horse, but everybody knows that's very difficult to find them. But overall, the horses, as you said, they're an even lot, and they worked well. I mean, there was probably only one occasion a horse broke, but that's unfortunate. But I'm glad the weather held out for the competitors. I mean, the ladies that prepare horses for the Garryowen, for them, this is their big day, apart from probably their wedding day, and well done to them.
I think that's probably a good way of summing it up, Peter. It's probably, I noticed the lady up here having a little bit of a chuckle to herself. It is probably as big a day as their wedding day, I suppose, to a certain extent, but I think it might take them longer to get ready for the Garryowen than it would actually to get in their bridal outfit.
Well, everybody knows. I don't know what time they got up to attend to their horses this morning, but I know I've heard of people being up at 3 a.m. in the morning and not on until 10, 11 or 12 o'clock. So it's an industry which you have to love and enjoy doing, otherwise you wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, Pete, it's been lovely to have you out here. Here we were a fortnight ago talking to one another in Adelaide. You're a competitor over there. Now today you've got, I wouldn't say you have at the last laugh, but you can now look at someone else and say, that's my chance now to turn around and give you my opinion of what's going to happen. But no doubt you put your points factor down. They'll be working that all out back there. And of course, again, some young lady is going to write their name into the history books.
Yeah, well, for them, well done, and they deserve it. But for me, thanks to the RAS for inviting me to be a judge today. It's a great honour to judge in such a prestigious event like the Garryowen, and everybody knows about Violet Murrell dying in a fire, and this event is held in her honour, and it's written into folklore in the horse world. it's still the most prestigious ridden event in Australia today for lady riders.
Well, Peter, lovely to talk with you. Thanks for your time. Peter Stafford, well known to many of us throughout the equine world. And as I said before, just before you do go, Pete, I'm going to talk to one of our other judges in just a moment. But just before we do leave you, your history goes back to some wonderful horses. And I mentioned one vintage crop and a few other horses that, of course, come to Australia in the early days, before really the Melbourne Cup became an international event. So you've seen some champions go through your hands.
Yeah, well, of course, internationals have internationalised the Melbourne Cup. It's world famous today. I was lucky I was appointed the farrier, being the official VRC farrier at that time, to look after the shoeing of the visiting internationals, which I did for just on 20 years. And we see some beautiful horses, and, you know, some of them are beautifully cared for, like the Garryowen horses here today.
I can see you getting a little bit emotional when you're starting to talk about how horses are cared for. I think if I ever came back, I wouldn't mind coming back as a horse.
Which horse would you come back as?
Oh, I don't mind. I just, you know, you've got a nice stable, you know, nice rug, always well fed. Should hopefully get well looked after. I'm not too sure whether I'd want to come back as a specific horse, but have you got one that you'd like?
Yeah, I think Mr. Ed.
Yes, fair enough, I suppose. I never thought, I didn't go that deep. Sorry, Pete. All right, thanks for having a chat with us. We certainly enjoy. I think we'll get you to pop over there and join the rest of our judges as they make their way out here as well too. Today also we had our Susan Pedersen was judging our riding, I should say. Samantha Kennedy was our manners and paces, and Bev Richards our saddlery, and Rachel Laurie our general appearance. And I was going to hopefully catch up with Rachel. She's making her way out here now, and has got no idea that I really would like to talk to her. So if one of my crew could go over there and grab Rachel for me and just bring her over there, and we'll have a little chat with her as well too. She was getting all excited. She thought she was going to a party. The party starts at about 1 o'clock, Rach. Rachel Laurie, who's been judging out here for the last couple of days. And Rachel, welcome to Melbourne. We've tried to look after you in relation to keeping things as dry as we can. You're a lady that sort of knows what it takes to win a Garryowen. You've been out here a fair bit over a period of time. Today as a judge, how was your role?
I loved my role today. It was amazing. There was a few first-timers out there, so I was actually educating them a little bit on what to expect and just to relax and enjoy the moment, because if you are nervous, both your riding and the horse is affected in their manners and paces, and that's 90 marks. So I just felt that if I could give them some encouragement and go out there and enjoy it, that it makes for a better competition as well. But it was really lovely to actually get down and see everyone. I'm usually out the back getting ready, and you don't get to see what the other competitors have. So yeah, it was lovely.
You mentioned something there before, and there's probably got a lot of people sitting in the grandstand today that probably don't understand what we mean. It's very easy for us to use the terminologies that we use in the equine world. We talk about being a little bit nervous, and the horse can feel that. Just can you explain to the people who are here today what we're talking about in relation to that nervousness coming through the body, coming through the hands, into the bit, into the horse?
Yeah, they sense you. They know you really well. So obviously, if you change your attitude when you're riding them, they can feel that as well, and it runs through them. It's a bond that you build. You work so hard to get here, and you spend a lot of hours with them at home and at your local agricultural shows, and then other competitions as well. And when you walk into the Garryowen, you're in a foreign outfit that we usually only wear maybe once, twice a year. Myself, I did three to four a year. And it's a whole different feeling. And when you feel uncomfortable, that runs through the horse. They feel a bit uncomfortable, like, why is mum feeling like this? Why isn't she sitting on me and pushing me forward like usual? Why is she sort of half a bit tentative? Well, I'll go tentative because something's wrong. I've got to look after her. So when you actually get on there, you've got to think, no, I've got to ride like normal. I've got to wrap my legs around the horse. I've got to keep it forward and through from behind, and make sure they sit up and I relax and smile and enjoy it. And then my horse is going to look like it's enjoying it as well. Now, there was one young lady out there today. And she smiled the whole time, and I think we all know who she was. And that horse smiled as well, and we were talking about it, and it looked beautiful, and it was a lovely picture.
Well, there, that gives you a little bit of an insight as to what goes on. It's not a matter of just throwing your leg over the horse and sitting in the saddle. It's a matter of becoming one unit between yourself and your horse. And I think you explained that pretty well, Rach. Go and enjoy, because we're about to start our presentation in a few moments' time.
Well, Sarah, we're watching from up here in the broadcast box. You've been here, you've done this yourself. Do the nerves start to kick in about this particular time?
Oh, God, Casey, I'm nervous. It's, yeah, look, the anticipation of it. And as I said, and I sound like a worn-out record, this year, the girls, the workouts were absolutely fabulous. So a lot of it is really, and I know there's, 5 judges, 6 judges out there, but it really is going to come down to your saddlery and your costume and your general appearance, because really, you really couldn't separate a lot of the girls with their workouts. It was amazing.
I had the privilege of being on ground and interviewing our girls, but I did hear at some stage you guys reference that this year it's almost been a little bit quieter. There's not a breath of wind out there, and I think maybe for our workouts that might have really helped some of our horses today.
Oh, look, I'm sure it was, you couldn't have got a better day, really, could you? But I was just talking to Cara Wagner up here in the box, and she was saying how calm everyone was this morning down in the pavilion getting ready, and I think the girls are getting far better prepared. From about 5 or 6 years ago, everyone was a bit scatty. Everyone was happy to help each other out. They were loaning things, they were loaning pins, they were loaning, tissues and rubbing people's boots and sort of putting keepers in other people's bridles. It was absolutely fabulous down there this morning, and obviously that's gone through to the workouts, because if they're calm, the horse will be calm, and, everything just ends up so much better.
Sense of anticipation. We see some more of our turnout classes come out this afternoon. If you're lucky enough to win, what's the process, Sarah? What happened for you? Like, if you are crowned a winner of the Garryowen?
When I won, we toddled off to the official lunch, and then I had to. I didn't go in the Esquire. I'm not sure. I think the Esquire was the same day. Might have been the day after, but I didn't certainly front up for the Esquire. But after an official lunch, I had to front up for Champion Show Hunter. So it was a busy day. But look, most of these girls, I would imagine, will front up for the Esquire. Of course, to go in the Esquire, you have to own the horse. So these other girls that have borrowed horses, obviously they won't be in it. But we also have I think the 18 to 21 turnouts this afternoon, isn't it, Case? Some of these girls have 3 turnouts today.
There's plenty of turnouts still coming this afternoon with our Esquire and our Lithgow.
And obviously in these turnouts they will be in exactly the same gear. It's all formal. So in years gone by, the Garryowen was always run on the Monday, and on the old showgrounds when we had the big arena, and the Garryowen winner had to frock up every day and lead the grand parade. It was absolutely fabulous. And of course, if your horse played up and or you had a malfunction with your gear, you'd send it all off to the dry cleaners and then go in the Esquire on the Thursday. But times have changed. The arena's smaller. We haven't got the stabling. Obviously, we haven't got the amount of competitors. In those days, we were having 120 in the Garryowen. Now we've got 35, which is fantastic. It's grown again. So now we have Super Turnout Day on Wednesdays, and we're just so lucky it didn't rain.
We get the up here, we can see all the girls out the back there having a bit of a chit-chat and a lovely time. There's so much support that goes behind the scenes, isn't there? And even the strappers that are out there at the moment giving their horses a pat and a cuddle. They're just everything about Garryowen. It's such a wonderful tradition that we've got out here today.
It's just beautiful. There's just something, you heard the girls interviewed. It's just so special. You can't really pinpoint it. It's just nothing else you ever get to do. And I think everyone gets together, like your family and your strappers, your partners, and you just share in this beautiful day. Even though it's stressful, at the end of it you go, whoa, we did the Garryowen. How amazing is that?
Do you know what I got out of today?
What?
I got out of today listening to Jennifer say that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can do the Garryowen. So there is hope for me yet. I might be another 15 years before I get out there, but there is still hope for me. The
Okay.
dream is still alive.
Case, all my gear's out there as we speak on a horse. So it's yours for the taking if you want it.
Well, I might have to take you up on that one day, Sarah. But very shortly, we will bring our horses back into our Herald Sun Arena for what will eventually be the most anticipated of any of our presentations that we have here at the Royal Melbourne Show, the Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout.
It's very exciting the last couple of years, Casey. Prior to, I think, 3 years ago, the points for the riding ability and the manners and paces were put on the screen straight away. So you had a fair idea. Well, obviously you knew who was, out the front and scoring well, and a lot of the mystique was taken away from the presentation, and got rid of that a couple of years ago, and it's back to how it was. No one has any idea.
I think that's a really brilliant point that we make here, in terms of, no one knows. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's sit back, relax as we throw down to the Master of Ceremonies, Rob Gaylard.
Thank you very much, Casey. Good afternoon to you all and welcome. And thank you very much to the gods upstairs who have looked after us, although I look to my right and I think we'll be as quick as we possibly can, but I think we are so lucky this morning to have had some good weather. We've had some fine competition. Our horses have worked out kindly for their riders as well too. So we're looking forward to sharing with you now the placings of this prestigious Garryowen event. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, boys and girls, we welcome you to the 82nd Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout presentation. My name is Rob Gaylard and I have the pleasure of being your host for today's presentation as well as the voice here of the Royal Melbourne Show as well. Please join me in welcoming our official party to the presentation area. And I'd like you to put your hands together for Mr. Matt Coleman, RASV President. Loretta Di Simone from Stubbs, England, of course, our major sponsor. Caroline Wagner, four-time Garryowen winner and Garryowen Hall of Fame inductee. Sally Murrell Rich, supporter and grandniece of Violet Murrell. Marguerite Dorr, supporter and grandniece of Violet Murrell. Philippa Harport, of course, our supporter. And Steve Russell of Cedar Lodge, again, thank you very much, Steve, for joining us, a wonderful supporter as well too. Well, without any further ado, also, I should be welcoming our judges to you. We've been talking a fair bit about them and introducing them to you through the Garryowen, but let's welcome them officially and we'll invite them to come to the stewards area. Please welcome our judges. Susan Pedersen, who judged the riding. Mr. Peter Stafford, our confirmation and soundness judge. Samantha Kennedy, manners and paces judge. Bev Richards, our saddlery judge. Sally Laurie, our general appearance judge, and Peter Plozza, our costume judge. And of course, we couldn't survive without our stewards, our unsung heroes, I often refer to them as, who give up their time to help everyone out here making sure this show ticks along and everything is on time. I'd love to introduce them to you, and I really would love you to give them a round of applause when they come and join us too. Our stewards, Irene Luxmore, Di Warboys, Raymond Butler, Warren Warboys, Karen Fisher, Jason Ronald, who of course is one of our board members and a steward as well too, and a lady who has made everything tick so far today, and Melinda Ralph, our steward and committee member, and Narita Sadler, also one of our stewards as well too. I think it's time that we welcome our competitors back onto the arena. This year we were delighted to have some 28 entrants, 8 of whom were competing for the very, very first time. And as usual, competition has been of an extremely high quality. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our entrants for the 2016 Garryowen behind me as well. Put your hands together for them. Wish them good luck. Well, I had the pleasure last year of introducing this young lady to you, and she shared the national anthem with us. We liked it so much we've brought her back again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to be upstanding as we stand by for the national anthem to be sung by Natasha York.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thanks, Natasha. Lovely to have you back with us again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, competitors and members of the Murrell family, past winners, judges and stewards, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria, we welcome you to the 82nd Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout. We are pleased, of course, to honour these outstanding riders who have competed in the Garryowen here today. I'd like to make a special thank you to our event's supporters, firstly to Stubbs England, the grandnieces of Violet Murrell, Sally Murrell-Rich and Marguerite Dorr, and also to Philippa Harcourt McNamara, Cedar Park Equine Products, and the Mitchell and Draper families as well too. Thank you all for your valued support. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our horse committee, my guest commentator. We had a ball up there again today, and the 2 hours went very, very quickly. To Sarah Love, thank you very much, Sarah. Our other past winners, and I'd also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and congratulate the 2016 Garryowen Hall of Fame inductees, former winning horse, Le Pagal, rider Shay Hanger, and Mr. John Lithgow for an outstanding contribution. Let's give them all a big round of applause. The Horses in Action program celebrates, of course, the finest riders and horses in the country, attracting over 2,200 entries, and is a feature, of course, of the Royal Melbourne Show Turnout Day, and the Garryowen is a highlight of that extensive 11-day program. It also allows breeders, owners and riders to benchmark against the best of the best. The Garryowen is intrinsically linked with Victorian history, and it is a fantastic time that the 82-year-old condition can be upheld here today. The story of Violet Murrell, the accomplished horse rider and jockey who was commonly known as the Queen of Racing, secures her place in history as a true ambassador for women in the equestrian and racing industries. This event was first held back in 1934. Following the tragic death of Violet Murrell, who courageously sought to save her 3-time Royal Melbourne Show champion winning horse, Garryowen, from a stable fire. The Garryowen remains the most prestigious equestrian event in Victoria, and we congratulate all of our competitors today on their efforts. To begin with our presentations today, I would now like to invite all the first-year competitors to step forward. And we'll invite you to receive a commemorative medallion presented by Marguerite Dorr. The medallions have been generously supported by Mitchell and Draper families. Well, Marguerite will award those first-year competitors with a medallion, and I think it would be also fitting that at this particular time, we also acknowledge our best first-year competitor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our best first-year competitor goes to number 154. Congratulations, Jess Stalling. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give our congratulations to our best first-year winner. Receives a sterling silver custom-made pin valued at $500, handcrafted by Melbourne Jewellery Service, supported and presented by Sally Morrill-Rich. And again, we congratulate all of our first-year competitors and our best first-year competitor as well too. So Jess, well done. I'm going to invite our chairman of the RSV to step forward now, Mr. Matt Coleman, as we announce our winners from 6th upwards to our winner, and we'll now be presenting the awards for this year's place getters. Matt, if you'd like to come forward, and I'll invite you to announce who our 6th place getter is.
Thanks very much, Jeremy, and thank you everyone for being here. I'd like to add, as Jeremy said, I'd like to add my thanks to the Horses in Action Committee, Melinda Ralph and all your committee members. Thank all the competitors that are here today for your support for the RSV by being here. And as well as all the stewards and volunteers that make the Horses in Action program, as well as the show itself, the great success that it is. I'd also like to recognise the RSV staff that are particularly involved in the Horses in Action program. So if I'd like to thank Shiona Lamb, our Equestrian Events Coordinator. Well done, Shiona. It's also your... And it's happy birthday to Shiona today. Well done. And also Kathy Lombardo, our Rural and Leisure Events Manager. Thank you for that. Thank you for your support. It's now my very great pleasure to announce that the 6th place getter is horse 1639 Penny Ahern. Congratulations.
Penny, congratulations to you. Our judges Peter Plosser and Rachel Laurie awarding that placement and the sash as well too. Matt, again, I'll ask you to come forward as we draw ever closer. Our 5th place getter goes to?
5th place getter, horse number 1711.
I'll ask our stewards Warren Warboys and assistant judge in Bev Richards in awarding the placement of that particular sash. And while that sash is being presented, we move forward, Matt, and we have a look at our 4th place getter.
Horse number 853, ridden by Rose McAvoy.
Congratulations, Rose. We had a wonderful interview with Rose a little bit earlier on today with Case. And that's someone I forgot to thank. I forgot to thank my own daughter for helping us out today down there with the interviews as well too. So Casey, thank you very much, my dear. You've made it all tick. Rose, well done. Congratulations to you. And we'll invite our stewards there in Samantha Kennedy and Raymond Butler to assist with the sashing of that particular award. Time to move forward as we're getting very, very close. 3rd place getter is...
Horse number 1559, ridden by Rebecca Farrow.
Beck, well done. Congratulations. It was good to catch up with a few of these girls after their workout today and just find out how they were feeling and a little bit about the experience of being out there, and I hope that you enjoyed that little journey that we took you on as well too. Well, 2nd placing in the 2016 Garryowen goes to...
Congratulations particularly to this person, a first-year competitor, riding number horse 154, Jess Stalling.
Just before we announce our winner, Sally, I think you are behind me there. Would you like to do us a little favour? And we'd like you to pop over to see our best first-year winner. And I know there's a little brooch that we could ask you to go and pin on her. And our congratulations, Jess. I know you're out there somewhere. So we're about to make that presentation to you from Sally Morrill-Rich as our best first-year competitor in the 2016 Garryowen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we sit here with anticipation. We have some nervous people behind me. Who is it going to be? Who has felt their workout has been sensational? Who has felt good about their day out here today? Well, we can only have the one winner. Mr. Coleman, I invite you to share that with us.
Feeling the pressure myself now. And the winner this year, in first place, riding horse number 523, Bryony Randall. Congratulations.
Well, we gathered by Bryony's workout today after she'd finished and came back to have a chat with Case that she had a lot of supporters in the crowd, and she's been having a wonderful show here at Melbourne. She's a young lady that we've all had the pleasure of working with, competing against, and she is certainly a credit and a great ambassador to our industry as well too. Being adorned with the sash, of course, celebrating the Garryowen victory of 2016. Beautiful garland of flowers. In fact, I don't think you probably appreciate the garland until you have a close-up look at it. It is quite spectacular. It's a beautiful piece of work. And the lady that has put that together is actually helping put that on the horse at the moment as well too, making sure it all fits perfectly. It is certainly a wonderful Well, Bryony, as you are now receiving that Garryowen trophy with our chairman, Mr. Matt Coleman, I'm going to have to ask you, Bryony, can you dismount? We need to give Bryony a hand there, Mel. Sally Morrill-Rich now making a presentation to Bryony as well. So we're just going to try and find the birthday girl who's going to act as strapper. Thanks, Shiona. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Garryowen winner, Bryony Randall. All right, we've just had a pact here, haven't we? What did I say to you?
No crying.
No crying, or we'll all be crying. Well, did you ever think this would be a fact of your life?
I wasn't going to give up until I could actually say I was a Garryowen winner. So I hoped one day, but so thankful to my amazing horse that helped me get here. So.
Well, we watched your workout and it was almost Peter Perfect.
Yeah, look, I have to admit there were some tears this morning. Things weren't going how I would planned. But thanks to a lot of people that got behind me and pushed me to keep going. And yeah, it paid off. He was amazing. So.
What is it about this Garryowen that it's so precious to all you girls up there?
I mean, we've been brought up since we were little kids, starting in the mini turnout here and, you know, watching the Garryowen every year. And it's just something we strive to want to one day be a part of, and let alone win it. So it's just so much tradition involved, and yeah.
Well, you're going to join a long list of champions. Some of our girls have won it on numerous occasions. You've now indicated that, yes, I think I might come back and have another crack. Don't tell me you're going to retire after just winning one.
I did say that if I won, I would never do it again. So I didn't want to get in this gear again, but we'll just see. We won't make any rash decisions.
All right. Well, we'll let it all settle down, Bryony. I hope you come back and join us. But you've been a great ambassador for for the equine world. And of course, you've had wonderful successes through the years. Tell us a little bit about this horse you've got here.
Yeah, we found him up at the Ekka a couple of years ago. He took another horse up there and we're watching the lead thoroughbred classes, and he walked into the last class of the day that I sat there and watched. And the minute he stepped in the arena, I said to Warren Coe, who I was with, I said, I want that horse. I want it. So we chased them out of the ring, and yeah, they weren't going to have a bar of it, but we persuaded them and we took him home back to Melbourne 2 days later. So
now, I heard on the grapevine he was actually to be a show jumper.
yeah, that's what he was destined to do, and he can really jump, I must say. He loves it. We put him over some jumps sometimes, but yeah, that was going to be his career path, but lucky for us, we persuaded her that he was way too pretty to be show jumper. So
Bryony, I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes that have helped you. Would you like to share that with us?
there are so many people. Firstly, big thank you to my coach, Roger Reese, for coming in and stepping on Sonny to give him the tune-up that he needed this morning, because he just gave me the best ride he's ever given me, so thank you so much. To Warren Coyle and Howard Morris, who also co-own Sonny, thank you. They do so much for me and Sonny, so thankful. To all my amazing friends, Katrina, Chanel, Jackie, you're all amazing, all of you. My family, my husband, who wasn't here because last night I wasn't sure if I was even going to start, so he was working today instead. He told me if I win, he was going to kill me, so I'm sorry. Sorry. There's just so many people to thank. And everyone that got me ready this morning, all my pit crew, Sue, Caro, Jeremy, everyone that helped, thank you so much.
Well, just come around here with me, little one. You receive a replica of the Garryowen Perpetual Trophy. You receive an RASV sash, which you are wearing so proudly. And now you can have a tear. Go on, tear up. Where you go?
I've already done it.
She's already done it. You receive $1,000 in prize money. You receive a specially commissioned commemorative watercolour portrait of the winning horse painted by Jason Roberts, valued at over $1,000. So that's going to find a nice place, I'm sure, above the mantelpiece somewhere along the line. A 9-carat gold diamond custom-made pin handcrafted by Melbourne Jewellery, valued at $2,000, supported by Sally Murrell Rich and grandniece, of course, of Violet Murrell. A custom-designed Marguerite door glass handmade plate valued at over $2,750, supported by Marguerite, grandniece, of course, of Violet Murrell. You will also be receiving a Stubbs England quarter sheet and a gift pack, both supported by Stubbs England, of course, our major sponsors, and we welcome them to our Garryowen this year as our major sponsor, and we invite those of you out there to support those who are supporting us as well. The Garryowen garland, designed and produced by Philippa Harcourt, and Philippa was making sure that it was out there being done absolutely brilliantly as well too, from HM Garlands. And of course, the silver and diamond stock pin, sponsored by Philippa Harcourt, McNamara, HM Garlands. And finally, a beautiful diamond stock pin sponsored by Philippa. And finally, I should say, a beautiful trophy rug supported by Cedar Lodge, to all the team behind me here from Cedar Lodge Equine Products as well too. So I'm sure that you would love to say thank you to all our sponsors and supporters.
Yeah, this is a great event, and there's so many people involved in the running of it, and the sponsors, we wouldn't be here without them all. They do an amazing job, and that's so generous. I can't thank them enough. And Philippa, I love the garland. I've always wanted one. It's amazing. Thank you.
All right, well, I'll invite you to go back and see how you go getting on. I'm sure someone will give you a hand. It's pretty hard to get in those boots, but ladies and gentlemen, I would love you to, you head back to the winner's circle over there. I would love you to put your hands together one more time as we congratulate our 2016 Garryowen winner and our place getters as well too. To Penny Ahern, to Michelle Painter, to Rose McAvoy, Rebecca Farrow and to Jess Stalling, congratulations girls, well done. We're all very, very proud of you as well too. Well, that concludes today's Garryowen presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we sincerely thank you all, distinguished guests, judges and stewards, our presenters, our supporters, and of course, all the competitors as well too. Of course, our Royal Melbourne show continues after lunch. We look forward to you staying with us. It's been my pleasure, again, being your host. It has been my pleasure being very much a part of a wonderful industry here at the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria as well too. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go on a lap of honour, and I want you to show your appreciation to a lovely lady, a lovely horse, a gracious winner, Bryony Randall.
For 180 years, Stubbs England have supplied top-quality stable and tack room equipment to stables and horse owners around the world. Stubbs England products are now available online and stocked in Australia. On-trend products like the Saddle Mate and the Retro Bridle Rack are now back in stock. All the 340 Stubbs England products are handmade to the highest standard for the discerning buyer. You can now purchase these online at stubbsengland.com.au.
The 2016 Royal Melbourne Show is proudly supported by Principal Partners, Woolworths, the fresh food people. Advance, #1 Australian brand recommended by vets and breeders. Coca-Cola Amatil, taste the feeling. Jayco, that's freedom. Major sponsors: RACV, Herald Sun, Weekly Times. Sponsors: The Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria greatly appreciates and values the support of the 2016 Royal Melbourne Show principal partners and sponsors.
Get ready, get set, let's go. If we never go, we'll never know. 'Cause you and I, oh yeah, we could fly so high, so high. You and I won't let this moment pass us by, pass us by.
Kids like it, dads like it, even good old Auntie Madge likes it. Nobody doesn't.